Teenagers are building businesses.
Ah. Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. Got a few things going on here. Hopefully I've set it up properly. I have got Discord open. Hello, Stephen F. Sound only coming through left channel. Yeah, it's only broadcasting through the left channel. I'm not sure why at the moment. Got it going through a mixer and through a Focusrite. I honestly don't know how to fix that, to be honest. The final experiment deflated the globe. Hello, Glenn Souch. Okay, so just a sec. I'm kind of trying to multitask here. So, oops. Let's hope the chat stays there. All right, so I've got, hopefully got the live chat coming through on the screen there as well. And there is a link in the description for Discord if you want to come and join there. Okay, Stephen F says, audio mixer, gear on your mic, advanced audio properties, check mono. Ah, okay, hang on a minute. So you're talking about, just a second. Open sound settings, just a second. Output. Yeah, the microphone. Okay, hang on. Manage sound devices. Give me a second there. Oh, that's the answer that GPT gave you, is it? Yeah, it's yeah, a little bit difficult to device properties. Hang on a second. Might get there, just a sec. One channel. If that makes it okay. Does that make a difference? Hi, Iron Realm. Okay, so yeah, on my OBS now it's down to one channel. Can you still hear me? And is it only on? Okay, Squirrel Sniper. Hi. It failed because at no stage was there any Yeah, I've taken a few notes, so I do plan to go through those. Okay, Stephen F, thank you very much for confirming that. Yeah, I do various things with the audio, so obviously this is, and hopefully it's kind of connected to the Discord as well, so we'll see how that goes if anyone wants to join the actual discussion. Okay, Iron Realm, thank you very much. That's good to know. Yeah, it's always a bit of an issue to try and work out. So fantastic. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. Yeah, I did try, and someone pointed out to me on the last stream that there was going to be it was the corn moon, I think it was, and there was going to be an orange full moon around midnight. I was checking it out, but it's the monsoon season here in Phuket, so bless you, Nick, for laughing at your dad joke. We're all dads here. We're all. Oh dear. So yeah, shame not to capture that, because I saw some good photos of an orange moon over where was it? Sorry, turn the fan down. That might be disturbing the sound as well. Over Stonehenge, but yeah, would have been nice to capture that, but I couldn't. I tried to stay up for it, but yeah, the heavens opened before I was able to capture that. But let's see if we get it again. It's always interesting to see the sky. So yeah, I mean, it is the monsoon season here in Phuket, which goes on for about 6 or 7 months. Actually, goes on from about April until November. Doesn't clear up until then. So yeah, all right. Yeah, but as I was saying in the last one, I mean, it was good to, you know, the final experiment did some good things, really. Hi, Sue Scott. Good to see you, my man. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, it did do some good things, because it did highlight, you know, this narrow-minded, bigoted thinking, and this inability to read the room. And since the last stream, I've had the usual comments on the channel where people are talking about surveying, and you know, it's funny, you talk about how someone could come up with a practical measurement, and people still can't discern between calculations and presupposed models and actual tangible measurements of an alleged curve. What's that, Squirrel Sniper? I only found out that the Fabian Society logo is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah, I saw that the other day as well. I think, yeah, I didn't know that until recently either. Hi, FPV. Good to see you, man. The heart of Earth, 1,000 miles per hour is fast. It is effing fast, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, and you always get the same attitude. It's always the same kind of responses and stuff from these people defending their belief in the globe. It's they do not have this ability to read the room or understand, you know, where we're coming from, and it's really it just shows that mindset, and you see it everywhere. You see it in any kind of topic of discussion, really. You might have someone who's open-minded, but then on the other side you've got someone who's very closed-minded, and that's what you always get with the Globers. It's closed-minded, and of course, you know, there's this idea that it's worth saying again and again that flat Earth there isn't a model for flat Earth. I mean, actually, I went to the local thrift store, the charity shop, with my daughter yesterday, and it was fantastic to see the display that they put up. The person who runs the store had put up this display, and she is into the whole thing about the other lands beyond Antarctica. So the whole display was the map of all these other 70 odd lands beyond Antarctica, the Admiral Byrd stories, the pyramids, frequencies, vibrations, all this stuff. So it was really good to have a chat with that person. I mean, we've always talked about esoteric things when I've gone in there, but it's funny because there's this whole branch, or this whole, I suppose, bunch of people that are looking into that aspect of it, but they wouldn't call themselves flat earthers. They might be referring to a dome, or referring to all these lands, so they know it's not a globe. But you know, when I mentioned to her that I do flat Earth videos and have been doing for the last 10 years, and I had to kind of explain that, yeah, flat Earth isn't. We're not talking about a disc floating in space, like, you know, this this alternative to a heliocentric model. So there's this whole other, I suppose, group or community, if you like, of people that are exploring alternatives to heliocentrism and the globe, but they're not necessarily flat earthers. So that was quite interesting. Oh, the heart of, what's that you're saying? The Stabius Werner map is your favourite. There are heart Earth maps as well. Yes, I suppose that's where your handle comes from. The heart of the Earth. Yeah. What's that, Squirrel Sniper? It has to also be an anchor. Anchor the ego. Yeah. We're lucky to be able to get out of bed. Yeah. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, because it is, isn't it? It's and it's funny because one of the issues here is that while people will often assume that they are a good person, and which they might well be a well-intentioned person, but they go nuts when you start suggesting that the Earth is anything but a planet. I suppose one of the problems there is that they don't imagine, or they're not able to understand. It's beyond their comprehension that people could lie to such an extent. But then, of course, these are the kinds of people that would go along with the official narrative, whether it's the COVID narrative or this or that, and they don't see any issues, or they see the usual political wranglings as something that's just kind of normal, but they don't understand the extent of that. So, but you're right there. It is about the ego coming in and kind of taking over, and of course, a lot of us might have been guilty of it too, of kind of discovering that we're not on a globe, and then wanting to get that across, and the ego can take over there when you become a bit of a vigilante about it. Yeah, you blame Terry Pratchett for the disc world, Squirrel Sniper. Yeah. Yeah, the heart Earth is I mean, it's a nice one, yeah. But of course, yeah, the maps can also be a distraction. I think, of course, that's one of the main things that's really distracted people, and what the arguments you often get from the globers is show me a map, and they're so fixated on the map and the coordinate system that that's the thing. You have to get away from that and say, look, if the Earth is curving, it's not about maps. It's not about models. It's about having, the physics of water and stuff like that change, actually being able to measure that curvature without maps. That's true, Squirrel. If it's more than a generational lie, it becomes the norm, yeah. And of course, we know that people aren't lying. Mostly, teachers aren't necessarily lying. And all those people defending the globe are not lying. They're just repeating what they're told. In fact, I was going through some school stuff with my kids the other day, and the subject of gravity came up, and the old, and there's questions and things about, the things being pulled towards the centre of the Earth. So I had to stop and explain to my son that that's just it's just an idea. It's just a concept when it comes to gravity. And you kind of have to explain that these things are what we're taught, but it doesn't mean that they're right. So, in fact, the more you go through that mainstream education, the more holes you see in it. What's that, FPV? Maps can be voided or validated. That's what we have been doing. Right, yeah. Yeah, I saw a lovely rainbow here the other day, and I thought of you, FPV, because I wanted to I just didn't get the camera out in time. It wasn't charged up, but I wanted to get a picture of that and kind of put the location down for you, because I know you're still collecting data about that. So yeah, you love all maps, the heart of the earth. I just want to know where the F I am. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And again, talking to this person at the charity shop was very interesting, because I mean, she's full of the energy and this kind of inspiration that things are very different to what we've been taught, and of course it's about obtaining that frequency, getting onto that, and how we're kept in this low vibration. So yeah, there's a whole swath of people, and it was funny because as I was talking to her, and we were saying, we're not on a globe, and other people, this other woman walked in and she gave me a wry smile. So hi Chilster. It's it's good to see these people coming in. Of course, I think a lot of the people that a lot of the expats, the foreigners, they're called Farang here in Thai. The Thai word for a foreigner or a Westerner is Farang. I think it comes possibly from when it was French that were first here, the first white people that were here. So Farangse, Farang, but that's what a white person is called in Thailand, Farang. So and it's not really a derogatory term, so it's okay. We call ourselves Farang. And so yeah, these other Farang were coming in the shop, and so we're having this discussion about flat Earth and all this other stuff. And yeah, they get it, because obviously you've got people that are open, people that manage to survive here in Thailand and live long term are the kind of people that can adapt to a different culture. If you can't adapt to a different culture or a different mindset, you won't last in this country. You just end up getting frustrated or end up in jail maybe for doing something really bad. So yeah. Okay, well, great to see a whole bunch of you in there now. I mean, maybe, yeah, as I said, the link for the Discord thing is in there. I have no idea if that will work, or if the sound will come through. So it just needs someone to come in and do that. And then you'd need to go to, if the link doesn't take you directly to it, you'd have to go to Flat Earth Discussion in the voice channels if you're going to come in, and then we'll see how that goes. But if someone wants to come in, they're welcome to. Otherwise, I'll just start going through this little document I've put together here, why the final experiment failed. I've got about, how many have I got? About six reasons here, 6 main reasons with little bullet points. So, basically what Will Duffy and the Flat Earth deniers didn't understand. Well, first of all, they had this, he kept talking about the Flat Earth community. But we're not necessarily a community, and we're certainly not a cult. And of course, it's the heliocentrists that are in a cult but don't realize it. But they assume that Flat Earth is a cult, and that's wrong, because we do not have leaders. There are no leaders. There are obviously some very prominent people that have done an awful lot, and maybe as far as YouTube goes, there are people that have done a lot of work to get out there on YouTube. I mean, we don't hear from people like ODD these days, do we? And a whole bunch of other people. I remember Stinky Cash used to be quite prevalent, prolific maybe is the word. A few other guys. I'm terrible at remembering names, of course you get to a point where, unless you're doing extra research or more things like that, where you've said everything you need to say, and it's really up to other people to catch up. But yeah, there are no real leaders. There's no one telling you that you have to believe it's this way or that way. Everyone's got their own way of doing it, and of course there is no model. There is no model. Of course, Duffy and what have you, they always refer to the AE map and insist that that's your flat Earth model. Well, that was totally wrong. That was just an assumption that they made. So. Yeah, I think if you're talking about that, the pot calling the kettle black, Chillster, yeah. Okay. Oh, there's a lot going on in the chat already. FPV, you're kind of okay. Squirrel, got some things. Okay. Yeah, it's great. FPV. Obviously, you're doing a lot of research there, and you're getting a lot of collaboration going on. So that's fantastic. Yeah, and the way these ley lines, rainbows, and things line up. And yeah, this is maybe one of the big things is we don't, and that's why I love the West Country so much as well. I love England in that respect. I really want to go back and do some more there. But where you've got the stone circles, and you've got this culture or civilization that obviously understood the power of the ley lines. That's why you go to somewhere like Salisbury, and it's got such a deep history, and it's a powerful place. But maybe there are things that have been done to kind of block those things. Yeah, it's just like you look at the body as having, it's got its power lines and meridians, and you can do Tai Chi, or you can you've got acupuncture. This is ancient knowledge of the human body, and maybe there's ancient knowledge of the earth as well, where these energy lines can be put to good use or blocked if they need be. And maybe that's what's happened over time, is that people have blocked these energy lines on the earth. Oh, no, FPV, you're welcome. No, don't worry, FPV. You said so. Sorry, Nick, I'm not taking over your chat. No, that's fine. You go ahead, man. It's all fine. Yeah. The more people you can get collaborating, the better, as far as I'm concerned. I think it's great. And if this or any other channel can help bring people together, that's fine. Do your thing. You have your little chats. I just need to kind of separate those comments that are directed at me or from other people. So no worries there, mate. You go ahead. Yeah. Squirrel Sniper. Yeah. Micro to macro to micro again. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, hi, Liz. Is Liz in? Did I see? Hello, Liz. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Yeah. Great. Yeah. It's always good to have this. This is all about collaboration. Again, I mean, anything I say is going to be repeating stuff, really. I mean, I feel kind of, my thing was perspective, and just, looking at how vision works, looking at maps and things like that, but then realizing that we're so limited in what we can do. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just, it's up to all of us to make a contribution, and just, if we could just keep this going by keeping these channels open for discussion and more learning. And as I said, talking to this lady at the charity shop the other day, it's like, wow, I've got so much more to learn in that respect, as far as what people are saying about these other lands or these other peoples. But then again, I mean, it's really down to what you can prove. I mean, I know, of course, maybe a lot of you got into Hollow Earth, which I did for a while. And the Admiral Byrd thing was there as well with Hollow Earth. I think, to be honest, there's a lot made of what Admiral Byrd's missions, but a lot is made up as well, or a lot we don't really know, or we can't verify. So how far can you go with that stuff? And of course, you've got a lot of people telling all sorts of stories that you can't verify. So I personally don't go there. I love a good story. But hi, Trackmatic. Thank you for coming in. Good to have you in here. Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I look at some of the things happening in Thailand that I haven't seen and haven't explored. There's so much here as well. So much esoteric knowledge. I mean, yes, the Buddhist culture has taught me a lot, and there's some stuff I can kind of pass on there, which I hope is useful for leading a more peaceful life, a more, where you can hopefully get in touch. I mean, that's been a lot of my mission, and just getting away. Really getting away from the stresses and the restrictions of the culture, that Western culture that we're brought up in. I do feel a lot freer these days, and that's also mainly due to a lot of you guys helping pave the way with all the knowledge and things that we share and talk about, right? But there's also the Buddhist culture that I've been able to observe and pick up on, and see in action, where the Thais and their Buddhist culture approach things very differently to the way Westerners do. The way they're more light-hearted about things, the way they approach just being together, and living life in a very different way that's more enlightening, as it were, or more enlightened. And I hope I can pass some of that on. But there's so many things, like there's places where for example, the Thais have legends and mythology of giants, giant creatures, giant trees. That there are places you can go where there appear to be fossilized giant snakes under these what would have been giant trees at one point, but now they're more like kind of like the chopped down trees, where the giant trees that we know of, they're now hills, mountains, and cliffs. But there's some places where there's Buddha footprints, or giant footprints, as it were. There's like I said, these what appear to be fossilized giant snakes, and other they have the mythology of these bigger creatures. For example, the Mekong River is very, very mysterious. It's very deep. It's very wide. It's very long. And there's also, and there are, for example, every year there's these lights which come up from the Mekong River, and nobody really knows what they're from. They're said to be from this creature, this kind of serpent-like creature that lives in the river. And these fireballs, they're called the Naga. That's right, Naga fireballs. You can look them up. People come from miles around to sit on the banks of the Mekong River and watch these fireballs come up and go. They come out of the water, and they go into the sky. So they don't really appear to be fireworks, and this is something that's been going on for as long as for whatever, hundreds of years maybe. No one really knows where they come from or how they're made. Yeah. I'm having a brew here. I'm lucky. I'm able to get PG Tips is one of the cheapest English tea. I say English tea. I know it's from India. It's funny, but yeah, I end up drinking PG Tips. Yeah. Kind of Nessie kind of legend, Zoo Scott. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I wonder if I can just let me just see if I can inanna Tikawami no no Ben Hin na อยู่ที่ไหนนะ อะไรนะเขาเรียกอะไรนะ Naga Oh, chai. Yeah, hang on. I'm just looking that. I've just asked my wife for these images, where I can find these images. So, yeah, let me just bring them up here. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, let me see if I can. Just a sec, guys. I'll try and add. Let me try and add that. Hang on a second. Bear with me. I'll just show you what I'm bringing up here on Google. So yeah, you can obviously go and check. If you go and look for Naka, Naka, Naka snake, you'll find some pictures here. So yeah, it's quite amazing because a lot of this is on Facebook, but I don't want to go there. So yeah, I mean, this is actually near my wife's home in the kind of northeast part of Thailand, where it would appear to be the remnants of a snake with scales. ทำไม
ดูจำได้ไหมนี่แหละ
Oh, right, yeah, yeah. I had been. It's funny because I've been in that area once where I was at a waterfall in that area, but at the time this hadn't been discovered. It was a kind of touristy place, but not only kind of. I cut my finger on a waterfall there. Let me just see. So, yeah, there's some. This is a good one. Like, they're not very. That's a good one. Here we go. So this is in the news, yeah? I'll try and get that up. All right, I mean, you can see, hopefully you can see that. Yeah, so this is from Naga Cave. So it's in a place called Burnggan Province. So I've been up on it's weird because it's like it's a plateau, it's a big plain, as it were, but then you can climb up this one rock, I think now looking back it would seem to be an old tree, but this is under the tree, just curled up like an old snake there. So you can see this rock formation with the scales, yeah. So and yeah, for the Thais, it's very much. This would be perfectly acceptable as part of their mythology. Yeah. So let me just try and yeah. I mean, so it obviously really does look like a snake's head there. Yeah. So yeah, go check that out. Naka, just put in Naka snake, and that's just one example. I mean, I should. What's that, FPV? That will represent the spiraling pressure waves rising from below, Nick, the cause of winds. Okay, I'm not. Are you getting those phone alerts? Yeah. Are you? Liz says, the guys in the UK, have you switched your phone alert settings off so you won't get the test alert this afternoon? Okay. Yeah. So I got one recently on my phone here in Thailand, but it was a weather warning. It was about a storm warning, and it just came up. It didn't matter. It wasn't even on an app. It just came up right on the front of the phone, even with the phone locked. It just comes up. So that was quite a surprise because no one knew we were going to get those. So FPV, I'm not sure what you're referring to when you say that will represent the spiraling pressure waves rising from below, Nick, the cause of winds. I'm not sure what you're actually referring to that. Yeah. Oh, hello, Jeff. Gashead, welcome in. Sven P, hello there. Thanks for coming in. What's that, Winan? What do you mean it failed to stop flat Earth? It's only the bitter enders left that hope they can save face. Squirrel Sniper, yeah, I'll have to, let me see if I can get some better footage of that. Maybe I should just do a video on it. I will look at that, yeah. As I said, I've been to that place before, but I didn't know about the snake thing there. I wish I did, because it was an amazing place, and it's considered a very kind of spiritual place, a very ancient. It has a lot of history. But yeah, I've got a cut on my finger from that actual expedition, because it was at a waterfall, and it was funny because I was my wife was just paddling around. and my kid was very young, and it was just very slippery. But for the Thais, it's just, you know, the guys live brought up in the country. They can just walk around on this stuff. But for me, I ended up slipping and trying to grab a rock, and it was very jagged, sharp rock. So I ended up with this big cut on my finger. Yeah. So life for real, still having giant snakes in Brazil. They're probably, this is it. I mean, I'm sure they exist, but we just don't see them. They probably keep out of our way. Yeah. So, Winand, I'm not sure what your comment means. What do you mean it failed to stop flat Earth? It's only the bitter enders left that hope they can save face. So who are you talking about, the bitter enders? I'm just trying to explain here how you know, Duffy and co, even after 10 years, the thing is they came along 10 years after a lot of us got into this, or 10 or 12 years, and they're just coming up with the same old arguments about, you know, they're making claims that we, you know, the flat earthers think Antarctica doesn't exist, or even, you know, Australia doesn't exist, and things like that. Just these ridiculous arguments that they came up with. You know, hi Sven, by the way. So, yeah, I mean, just really just out of touch, completely out of touch, failed to read the room completely. Yeah. FPV says the snake is a location marker of a sacred site below. Ah, okay. Check there for a rainbow. Okay, thank you, FPV, for that. Yeah, I should imagine it is. You know, again, these for the Thais, you know, this is perfectly normal. It's perfectly acceptable that kind of thing would like you say, would be a marker of. And yes, you know, I mean, I've seen where monks will, I mean, temples are often in places that are very sacred because of their energetic properties, and there are caves where they actually go and do this chanting, and, you know, gems actually get produced from the cave. So, you know, there's this whole thing here where you know, they assume the earth is alive in that respect, yeah, and powerful, and you have to respect it, yeah. So same with temples. Check for rainbows. Yes, I'll do that. I will do that. I'll check for the rainbows there. Plain reality. Hello DHD. Plain reality. Australia doesn't exist. I do live there, but it's not real. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, electrocrystal, is that what they call it? Electrocrystallization process. Yeah, so I've seen this happening in videos. I mean, and it's amazing. They actually they go there and they chant, and they actually, you know, these and they put a like a sheet down to catch these crystals as they're produced, and they just come dropping out, and they're like they're very revered treasures. But yeah, they become, it's amazing to watch. They literally do just come out. It's like they call it kind of, there's this kind of liquid stone or whatever they call it in the Thai way, where these things drop out of the cave ceiling. Yeah. Disco Bay, hello there. Disobey. I like that. Yeah, nice one. Yeah. So, okay, Jeff, there's a place called Snake Mountain, same sort of thing. Okay, yeah, I know. Yeah, so I mean, that's the thing, you know. I know there's so much to explore, and I want to do that while I'm here, you know, in Thailand. I mean, I'd love to go back to England as well, because there's a lot to explore there. I love the whole kind of history of the West Country and all that, but it's like there's so much I could do here, and I should make more of these trips and go and see these things. But that's the thing, isn't it? When you're bogged down with family and just kind of trying to pay off your debts and things like that, it's been a struggle for many years. Yeah, stalagmites. So let's go back to these things. So yeah, what Will Duffy and Flat Earth deniers didn't understand is that Flat Earth is not a cult or a community. There are no leaders. There is no model. Okay, this is it. We're exploring all these possibilities. We just know it's not a globe, and so we're not fixed. So I put in here FE is a topic for discussion about philosophy, with the understanding that the globe is not reality. Yeah, so that's a big part of it as well. And of course, you know, Duffy and co just latched onto this AE map and said that's your model, and didn't take it any further than that. So, Squirrel Sniper, for off-the-beaten path destinations, I would consider the ancient Khmer temple ruins at Phnom Rung. Yes, the secluded Wat Chalurm Prakiet, or the serene cave temple of Wat Umong in, I suppose you were going to say Chiang Mai? Yeah. Yeah, they're all worth exploring. They are. Okay, FPV, good. Yeah, if you can, I don't know if you're able to put. Oh, I know I'm connected to your Discord, and I know you've got a lot of information on there. So yeah, please go and check out what FPV Angel has got on there. So this is it. I know. To be honest, I could contribute a lot more being in Thailand, and I should do some more exploration. Get out there, get on the road. I'm down south in Phuket. I mean, there's an area of Phuket that I wonder that it's called Three Mounds, and because it is three kind of hills, and I wonder sometimes if they are actually pyramids. They kind of look like it, but they've, you know, like the Bosnian pyramid where it's just so overgrown, it's difficult to tell. But I do wonder about that. So. Yeah. Okay, FPV. Pick a temple, Nick, and I'll help you decode it. All right. Okay. Maybe we'll get to that at some point. Yeah, I'll look one up. Yeah. It's funny, yeah, because I mean, I did a lot of traveling in the early days, and not so much once we had the family in tow. So. Yeah, if only I had taken more notice then. But I mean, you know, we're talking about a time when we didn't even have digital cameras when I was doing a lot of this traveling, and it would be a lot easier to go and visit now, and you know, place it on maps and things like that. So it's, yeah, in some ways having the technology is going to help. Yeah. So I'll do that, FPV. I'll pick a temple, and we can research it together. That'll be fun. Yeah. So yeah, number 2 here, what I put here is that flat earthers know that the globe is based on a Copernican cosmological model, assuming the sun is at the center. I mean, this is the one thing that you know, the globers fail to recognize a lot of the time, is that we've got a model that was based on these observations of the stars and a whole bunch of assumptions. Yeah, the Copernican model. Yeah. You know, the heliocentric model. And it's funny because I had a comment on the last video where I'm just saying that, you know, the coordinate system is based on the stars. And some of these globe defenders think that that's a ridiculous comment to make, but that's exactly how the coordinate system came about from Polaris. But they don't even understand their own model. This is the problem. The globies are defending their cosmological model, and they don't know that it is based on a preferred cosmology rather than any actual observations or measurements of curvature on the surface of the Earth. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm reading the chat as well, but I mean, you guys can also read the chat. I don't need to repeat everything that's been saying, but there's some. What have I done there? Fantastic. Let's just sorry about that. Get rid of that a second. Yeah, that came up. Let's go back to that. Yeah, so I mean, I've said it loads of times before, but heliocentrism requires the Earth as a globe. You know, that's the thing. You know, if you decide that the sun's at the center, then you can't have a flat Earth in the heliocentric model, can you? Because then you just have constant daylight. So they had to come up with a way of making day and night, and the only way you can do that is by assuming that the Earth is a globe. because you've decided to put the sun at the center. Yeah, so and again, Earth is assumed to be another planet. Yeah. So then, of course, once they had those assumptions in place, then you had all these imaginary explanations created to support the globe theory instead of actual observations of the Earth being a ball. And that's why, when you look at horizons and things like that, and this is it. You've got people convinced that they see a horizon and they're convinced that that's curvature. When you start understanding how your vision works and you start looking at that and you realize, well, that's not the case. Yeah. Chilster Deluxe. Nick, make is blue. Sorry. Oh, make it. Okay. Okay. Let's just drop a link for later. Hang on a minute. Sorry, I've never done this before, mate. See, okay, I've never done this before, Chilster. So let's see if that works. Yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of very behind sometimes on how this works. Oh, I don't, and I don't even know if I've been able to do that. Have I done that correctly? I've done that through OBS. I'm not sure if I'm able to do that through. Okay, you click the three dots on the right of the nose. So what I'm going to do, FPV, is I'm also going to do that for you, standard moderator. Okay. Okay, so Chilster and, all right. So you, FPV, feel free to drop. Okay, there you go. Chilster, you've put your link in. Fantastic. Okay. And FPV, you can drop your link in for some of your stuff. Feel free to do that. I'm sorry I've never done that before. It's just not something I've spent time looking into how to do. Okay, so all right, fantastic. Okay, good. I will do that for others as we go through. Yeah, I don't really want to kind of get into the whole politics here, but obviously I do know you guys for a long time now, so give me over time maybe I can do that. Hello FTech World. Hello Blood. All right, mate, thanks for coming in. All right, good. Okay, so alrighty, yeah, okay. Let's just see how things go there, and I can maybe do that later on. Add some more moderators as we go through. All right. So let me just get back to where I was. Right. Okay. Yeah. This is a really funny one, isn't it? Number 3 was in my little list here is globe pushers refuse to acknowledge level as horizontal. It's funny if you think about it because. Whenever you ask them to define level, they come up with this excuse that they talk about, if you're talking about aircraft, then they say, well, if you flew level in an aircraft or straight over a globe, then you would end up gaining altitude. But we know that's not the case. I mean, gaining altitude is doing this, is actually gaining altitude. But then they claim that level is going to send you around this curve. So they're actually, they're just ignoring reality. So really they're trying to say that level or horizontal level is not a thing. In reality, they basically say that it doesn't exist, or they can't do that, or that level becomes an increase in altitude, which no, an increase in altitude is a totally different thing to horizontal level. So they really have to twist reality in order to have their globe. Yeah. Yeah, plane reality. That's right. Level is curved. Didn't I know? I know. Yeah. So yeah, it's amazing. But you know, you ask them to define that, to measure it, to show the difference, and oh, okay, you're off to the States again, Liz. Okay, nice one. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're traveling a lot, Liz. That's good stuff. Yeah. So there's that. You know, there's this absolute ignorance and refusal to accept horizontal level as a thing, or even to demonstrate or show that there's a difference. Because any normal person could say, okay, you've got an increase in altitude, you've got horizontal level, and if you like, you can have a definition for curved level if you want, because level is perpendicular to blah blah blah. But okay, go ahead and demonstrate that or show it, and they can't and they won't. So this is the thing: you've got this very closed-minded, bigoted way of thinking, which is total intellectual dishonesty. That's the thing. You know, of course, the Glober will accuse the flat earther of being dishonest. It's like, no, we're intellectually honest. We want to know if there's a difference between these different definitions. Yeah. Okay, you want to shut that? Oh, you're putting the aircon on? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Right. Oh, hi, Sven. Yeah. The go-to argument of denial is the Earth is indeed measured flat locally only, though. Yeah. Okay, FPV says Tellinger is Michael Tellinger. Yeah, is cobbling things together from many channels. Okay. Well, good. Yeah, I mean, you know, he's doing some interesting stuff, isn't he? Of course, you know, free energy is one of these big things as well. I mean, I think, you know, it'd be nice to be able to do something like that. I'd love to spend some time working on those, you know, getting some magnets together and spending some time engineering some free energy devices. That would be good. Yeah. Okay, Chilster says, I saw pictures that are off your videos on that vid I just dropped. Okay. All right, cool. I'm glad you're able to share some links there. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you keep asking him for a chat? Okay, well, hopefully, yeah. He's obviously a busy guy, Tellinger, but he's done, yeah, but that would be good. Yeah. Well, hopefully, I wish you luck with that. Maybe that will happen one day when the time's right. Yeah. So, yeah, another big aspect of the whole flat Earth, globe Earth thing is, of course, you know, we've researched these conformity experiments, such as the Ash conformity experiment, where, you know, they've got people in a room looking at the different lengths of lines, yeah, and then you know, you've got people that are in on it, persuading people by peer pressure to give a wrong answer, to go against what is obvious. And I think that's an amazing, and this is back in the 50s, wasn't it? The Ash conformity experiment, where, you know, you've got people that will actually lie about what they see in front of them because they're going along with their peers or with the other people in the room. Yeah, so we know these things happen. Yeah. Richard Archer, hello. All to come back here for Nick. UK is screwed by really. Fuck all, there's nothing to come back here for. The UK is screwed by the globalists. Yeah. And then sometimes it'd be good to go back and fight the good fight, eh? Or do you think that's the thing, you know? I know. The grass is always greener, isn't it? You know, I know that. Yeah. There's a lot's changed here in Thailand as well. But yeah, I mean, it has become more modern, and I suppose for my kids, they're being brought up in a more contemporary world here. Well, they've got that choice. You can go between the two. The weather's obviously good as well. I think you're probably right, Richard. I would definitely, you know, I look at some street scenes in England, and I would miss the vibrant nature of everything here. The people, the shops, the wildlife, that it's like, so I just sit outside and I see all these different birds. There's kind of all lovely, like these lovely coloured tropical birds, and they often go around in pairs, and they're doing their thing, stuff like that. I mean, it's wonderful to be in that kind of environment and I don't think anything about kind of just. The thing is, I can walk between the house and outside without changing. I don't have to put layers of clothes on to go outside. It's very different, I must admit. Yeah. Awake Souls is in. Okay. Thank you for coming in, Awake Souls. Hello there. Duffy ran a false dichotomy psyop. The SBVR model is accurate to 1/100th of a degree per second. SBVR. I don't know what you mean by that. Sorry, Awake Souls. I need to educate myself there. Yeah. So, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not up with all the terminology a lot of the time. Yeah. Let me just quickly go back to this. Yeah, there was the Ash conformity experiment. So that the line lengths where people will lie about the length of a line that they see right in front of their face because of their peers. Yeah, the Stanley Milgram experiments with the electric shocks, where you got the man in the white coat saying, give the guy in the next room a shock because he got the answer wrong. People will conform to it, even to the point where they're apparently giving deadly electric shocks. And then the Stanford prison experiments. I mean, these are all wonderful examples of conformity experiments. So we know, and the science proves it, that people will conform to ridiculous notions, even if it goes against their common sense. It goes against, their consciousness, their human nature. They will lie. Yeah. So we know this happens. Yeah. And we know that people will conform to the most ridiculous things. Yeah. On a plane, hello there. Thanks for coming in. Yeah. So yeah, there's all that. I mean, the fact that when a glober comes along with all their arguments and stuff, we know that a lot of the time they're just conforming. This is the thing, and we know that there's some real science to back this. Yeah. And then here we've got number 5 on my list is that the global will come along and insist on an alternative explanation or a cosmological model. Well, of course, this is the thing. Even if they ask you for an explanation and you give them one, they won't accept it. But at the same time, we also understand that we can only ever theorize. We don't really know. But we can say, well, there are many possibilities. But to pretend to know is not a good stance to take either, is it? But here we are, we got all these globers who assume they know everything. They know the point of creation, the Big Bang. They presume and assume to know more than God, yeah, from their little ant-like position on the earth. So really it's ludicrous, it's absolutely ludicrous to pretend that you know how all of this came about. Yeah. And of course, it's awesome. It's awe-inspiring to think about. You look at the heavens and you wonder how it all got here and everything. Yeah, and there's no harm in theorizing and talking about the myriad possibilities, but to stick to one dogmatic belief is dogmatic. Yeah, which has no place in our philosophical open mindset. Yeah. So they won't accept alternatives anyway, and it shows that what you have is people that want these pre-packaged answers, and you see that a lot. It's funny, isn't it? Because you think back to the whole COVID thing, when people, your everyday average person suddenly became an expert on all these different diseases and all the vaccines. As if just because they heard a few things on mainstream media. You've got all these people passing themselves off as experts about these different things, yeah, when really they were just repeating what they've been told. That's something that's such a good example of how people can be can convince themselves that they're smart because they've just repeated some stuff they've heard. Yeah. What's that, squirrel? Is the needle of a compass that's pointing to north the red painted half or the needle? Yeah, I know. That's yeah. Which way's north, really? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, FPV. Luminaries sweep west, shut down, or light is suppressed, and they return east to start again. Yeah. Yeah, they are a total mystery still to me. Yeah, the luminaries. Yeah. So another thing about your average glober is that apart from wanting these pre-packaged answers from so-called experts, again, when someone says, "Oh, scientists say this and that," first of all, you've got no idea what scientists believe or think, and for the most part, most scientists don't have to take into consideration any cosmological model for any experiments. They're usually focused on very micro aspects of something, a very narrow focus. And then, of course, the glober is also refusing to accept that this is an ongoing investigation or exploration. So we don't have to have answers. I mean, we've only been here for a blip of time. And why should we think that we have all the answers? That's very bigoted to think that. Yeah. So, it's humbling, isn't it? It's humbling to put yourself into that position where it's like, okay, hands up. I don't know how I got here, and we're not God in the sense that we can recreate anything that was here to start with. So who the hell do we think we are to say that we know how it all works? Yeah. Last one on the list. And of course, what happens with the Globers is, someone like Duffy or all of these other people, Mucktoon or whoever, or even Simon, whatever. They come along with this win-lose mindset, and this is that very materialistic mindset that any truth seeker has disowned themselves. They've abandoned that kind of thing, where they come along, they just want to win an argument. And this is the thing, when you come along with this idea that you're going to have a debate and you're going to try and win a debate, then you've already lost, because none of us are doing this because we want to win some kind of argument or be better than someone else or have a better idea or something. That's the thing. This whole idea of it being a contest is something that really, if you're a truth seeker, you should have detached yourself from, right? Yeah. So I'm not. These guys are not interested in discussions or exploration or learning, which is what if you listen to a discussion amongst truth seekers, then there's learning going on because someone has had an experience and they've got something to tell. And so you can learn something from them, and then it's a shared classroom, yeah, where we're all each other's teachers. That's the idea. That's what we're doing. Whereas the Globie comes along thinking they're going to win an argument by repeating some bullshit explanation that they've been taught. Yeah. The funny thing is they think they're smart because they can imagine this thing, but it's the same thing we were all taught since kids. So there's nothing unique or novel about coming along saying these kinds of things. They end up setting up these debates with the sole objective of winning, and they want to make you look bad. They'll say, explain this, explain that. You give them an explanation, and then rather than discussing this point or nailing something down, a certain aspect of the topic, they'll just think of something else they want to try and catch you out with. Yeah. And so we've seen all this before. Let's just So annoying. Oh, I like that one. Effed up world. A NASA, not a single accomplishment. Yeah. That's true, Squirrel. That is the ultimate challenge. Just let go. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Ah, okay. All right. Well, no one's. I don't think anyone's come along and joined on Discord. So if anyone does, please try that link there. Let me just try and put the link in the chat there. See if that works. Yeah. But if no one comes along in the next few minutes, I might wrap this up. I've kind of been through the things I wanted to go through, and it's great to have you all come in. Yeah. And I kind of said my bit that I wanted to say there. But yeah, it would be good to kind of do some more collaboration on the temples and things like that. Elder Bear, who's that question directed at? Did you explain the counter-rotating sun circles? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Oh, Sleeping Warrior, hello. The only thing to stop FE is measured Earth curve or axial rotation. No calculations, assuming things, raw measurements. We have accelerometers. Where's the yeah, that's right, mate. That's right. Yeah, and I think be happy to embrace that, right? Be happy to do that. If someone said, okay, here's I've made a measurement of the 60-foot drop over 10 miles. Yeah. Fine. Let's repeat it. Let's do it all over the world. Yeah. That would be fine. I think that because this, that's the thing. I mean, as a flat earther, it is about exploring this realm. The thing is, we know, but the Globers know this. That's the thing, because they will avoid doing that. They come up with all these. That's the thing. I mean, oh, someone come into. Oh, hang on. It is about exploring this realm. The thing is, we know. All right, hang on a minute. I'm getting some feedback now. I got Plain Reality and Bev Try Thinking has come in. Are
you live?
Yes, I'm live, Bev.
I think that last one with Plain Reality, the feedback, but I think it's stopped.
Right. Okay, Bev. Okay, we've got Elder Bear. Okay, you're going to have to take one at a time. Be cordial.
24-hour sun circles, you mean?
Bloodstick. I got a whole bunch of people coming in now.
Hey, Nico, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. All right then.
I mean, one by one, what did you mean? Go one by one, what were you meaning?
Well, okay. I mean, yeah. Obviously, yeah. Okay. Let's just try and not make this a mess, because basically there's. Okay, so we've got 4. 1, 2, 3. We've got 4 of you in now.
Well, I mean, the main observation of TFE was the sun circle, wasn't it? The sun going around in a circle for 24 hours. I mean, that was the main observation.
Uh-huh.
Would you agree?
Yes, that was
Yeah.
that was what they went to do. Yeah, and they apparently did that.
So-
Yeah.
So do you accept that was seen and observed? Or?
Yeah, and I think I've said all along that really it wouldn't make a difference because, well, first of all, to call it the final experiment was misleading in that respect, because I think any flat earther or any truth seeker would agree that if you want to prove that the Earth is a globe, then you would have to measure curvature on the surface of the Earth. And we all understand that the heliocentric model and the globe model has been derived from making assumptions about what the sun and the stars are, and the Earth being another planet. So, but I don't dispute that they saw a sun and they went to Antarctica. Some people do, but at the same time, I can't prove either way whether they did or didn't see that.
Okay, you accept it. You accept it as an observation then.
Yes.
Yeah. But so what they observed was the sun was going from right to left in a circle, so above their head. And in the north, the 24-hour sound, it goes from left to right over their head.
Okay.
So that's counter-rotating circles. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I mean, that would, again, doesn't that just depend on where you're observing it from anyway? I mean, are we looking at the same sun?
What do you mean by that?
Well, you've got the same argument about, the...
So you're saying there's two suns or more than one sun? Is that one of the
No, I'm not.
contentions?
I'm saying it's a possibility, but the thing is, first of all, it depends what the sun is actually doing, where it is. But the thing is, it depends on what side you're looking at something. I mean, it's simple. You look at the stars or whatever you're looking at in the sky.
No, but the sun. But they were beneath the sun. Beneath the sun, as if you're like within the rotation of the sun. You're not outside it. You're in the circle of the sun, and it's going around in one place from left to right above your head. In the other place, it's going from right to left above your head.
Okay,
Now, on flat Earth, I guess the sun goes in one direction all the time.
Well, not necessarily.
Depending on what model you're using.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, Nick.
Well, not necessarily. What do you mean?
Can I just ask you, do we live in a world of duality? Do we have everything that there is an equal and opposite for?
Sorry,
What's that got to do with it? Is that something to do with the sun? Or?
Well, everything within this realm that we live in is duality, right? So everything has an equal and opposite. So if we have it in the
There's
north,
two suns, you mean, what you're proposing? You would have it in the south if it's in the north.
well, it just goes to reason.
Opposite.
We live in a world of duality. Everything about this world is black, white, left, right, up, down, male, female. Everything about this world.
How does that work on the flat Earth? Would you say the sun goes round in a circuit? On flat Earth, from what we've heard, it goes round in a circle.
Everything about this realm that we see is optical.
Yeah.
So it's just another optical phenomenon.
But that's what I mean. It is the observation.
Sure, it's an observation.
It's observed in the north as going from left to right, and in the south it's observed going from right to left. So that's opposite.
Yeah, exactly. We have an equal
So where we
duality throughout this realm that we live in. Everything about this
how would
realm
you explain the two opposite rotations on a flat Earth? How would that work, do you think?
I don't need to explain it. I just need to understand that we live in a world of duality. Everything about this world is equal and opposite. There is nothing that you can really come up with that doesn't have some form of opposite to it.
Would that also apply for not flat then?
Well, yeah, is everything in the
not
world
flat.
flat?
And not flat,
Are there-
being the
are
other
there things
the other pole.
Are there things that are in this world that are not flat?
Yeah, lots of things.
Is a rock flat?
Yeah, most of the land.
Exactly. I mean, the land itself isn't flat, is it? But we live on a level plane
That's,
or a topographical
it's-
level plane. It's a plane of existence of what some people would call a construct.
plane
Or a
can't be
realm.
topographical, though, can it?
Why not?
Well, because a plane is what it is. A plane is a plane,
2D.
you know. 2D, yeah, it doesn't have a 3D topographical dimension to it.
So are you going to play some ridiculous game of like, because people
What, like
say
you
that
did,
the world
you mean?
is no, because
Like you did with your duality thing.
that's reality, right?
Yeah, reality is that the sun goes in one direction rotationally in one place and the opposite in another place.
Equal and opposite, yeah. Equal and opposite duality.
So flat and not flat. There's a flat Earth and a not flat Earth. That would be the duality for the Earth.
Duality could be the ground itself is a level plane and the sky is a circular image. The sky is a hemisphere, so we can then have the equal and opposite from the top to the from
That's
Apollo.
not how equal and opposites work.
Well, it doesn't really matter. I'm not here to explain how everything works, am I? All I'm saying to you is that we do have equal and opposites within this realm.
We do have counter-rotational sun circles. We do have them.
Mhm. So, and
Well, it's no problem for those of us that live in reality. It's a problem for the flat Earth, though.
we all live in reality.
Yeah. So everyone accepts the counter-rotating circles because that's its reality.
And so you have observation. And what about observation?
Well,
You want to assert that it proves something?
Well, for flat Earth, you have a rotation of the sun. And in this case, on the circumference of that rotation, you would have another rotation, its own separate center. That's also work, wouldn't it?
Sorry, repeat that.
Well, for flat Earth, the sun is going in a circle
Well, that's all
around the North Pole from what I've heard. Generally,
right? How do we really know what the sun is? Sure, we can say that we can assume that it goes in a circle because that's how our little minds can perceive things, but that doesn't mean that's exactly what it's doing. We don't know the real.
where are you then? Where do you live in? What part of the world do you live
I'm in
in?
Australia. I
So-
see the sun go from my right to left.
Yeah, which direction are you facing?
I'm in South Australia, so
Yeah, but when you face the sun, when you're watching the sun going that from right to left, which way are you facing? Which direction?
that's a redundant question. Why are you asking me such a ridiculous question?
No, it's not really, because I could compare it with where I am, and see if it's the same or
Opposite.
It's irrelevant.
it's
At the
opposite.
end of the day, it's irrelevant. Yeah, we've already
It's relevant. What do you mean it's
established-
irrelevant? It's reality. I thought you accepted reality,
Exactly.
but you don't want to talk
We've
about
already
it.
established that it's opposite. So what more are you trying to establish?
Well, how does that work for the flat Earth then? That's the question.
So what you're saying is that I need to be able to explain everything. If you want to know about the horizon, I'll explain that to you.
Look, this works for everybody. Everybody needs to be able to explain this.
Says
Now,
you.
it's okay to say it's impossible to explain. It's one of the options.
Well, of course.
I would, yeah.
Now, can flat Earth do that?
This is the thing. I mean, sorry to interrupt. I mean, I do appreciate the conversation. Plain reality, you're a bit quiet there, so feel free to turn your volume up or get close to the mic or whatever.
I think you'll have to do it at your end, I think.
But
you can on Discord turn the volume up.
This is it. We do get. I mean, people are getting caught up on this. Can you? I would admit or agree that some things are difficult or impossible to explain. I do see at the same time that FPV Angel is saying, okay, here's a map or a model that you can explain these different rotations of the sun with. But this is the thing. It's like we're getting caught up in this whole thing. What is the sun doing? And this is what I keep trying to say. Is just come back down to Earth. If you want to say that the Earth is a globe, then measure that bendiness on the globe. I mean, on the surface of the Earth. We do not know what's happening in the sky. We do not know what the sun is, how it all. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, it is impossible sometimes to explain, but so is everything about us just being here in the first place. That's all I'll say. You guys carry on.
No, that's fine. Can you hear me better now?
Experiment was the question in here, or is it?
Yeah, that's better.
I was hoping to have a word with you off.
Thank you.
Fine. So, will you stick around for after the live bit?
You asking me, Bev?
Yes.
Difficult to say because I've got a whole bunch of family stuff to do. But you guys are welcome to carry on discussing. This is fine. I'm welcome you discussing.
The other
things.
day you asked me, you said that you didn't understand what I was saying right now.
Yes, okay.
Outside of this live experience, I was hoping to try to explain that to you.
Oh, well, you feel free to explain it now because you keep talking about you say the real. I can't remember your exact words, but you say the real globe or the real, and then the dogmatic. I mean, you keep repeating these phrases.
Can we start off with basics, then? Right? Let me just lead you through what I see as the most basic example that we could ever have. Now, I'm talking just from reality here, nothing else. We know, and it's a priori truth, that level is horizontal. We do know that, right? I know most people can't prove it. I know for a fact that level is horizontal and that a straight line lies within a plane. I also know geometric reasoning through Euclidean geometry. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to give a best case scenario for all of the flat earth reasoning. Now, we've all heard about celestial navigation. 10th man brought in the right angle, right? Although we said you can do fuck all with an angle, they decided that they were going to make an elevation angle into a right angled triangle. We'll give them that, right? So you can have a right angled triangle through trigonometry. And everybody knows that the baseline of every right angled triangle can be called horizontal mathematically, because it's a horizontal straight line within Euclidean geometry. Now we're going to measure an angle in reality from our house to Polaris, and we're just going to document it. Now, that angle can be called latitude. In reality, that is your latitude, providing you're measuring it to Polaris. I don't know how the southern people do it, all of that, but anyone that can see Polaris can do that. Now, anybody that can do that and measure an angle to Polaris can also grab a local map and measure 69 miles on a north-south line. Straight line, you would say that's a horizontal distance of 69 miles-ish. Right? You could verify this for yourself and travel to that other place and measure an angle again to Polaris, and you would get 1 degree change. You could personally measure the distance, make sure that 69 miles is a direct distance because you're stood at that location.
It's not
Now,
always
that's
true.
a horizontal distance.
It's not always true, that claim.
That 69 miles being a horizontal distance is a straight distance.
Yeah, but 1 degree
You
per 69
can
miles.
measure that angle. Right, so you could check whether it's 69.14 miles or 69.07 miles or whatever. You are able to do that, everyone.
But why would you bother when it's not always true?
What do you mean it's not always true?
Well, the claim is 1 degree every 60 nautical miles or 69 miles.
69 statute miles. You can't measure nautical miles.
Yeah. But it's not always true. So why would you do it?
How do you know it's not always true?
Because Mick West has proven it.
Right. Somebody else has done something. I've heard that. It's a common claim.
Well, he's proved it. He's
What did he do?
proved. He proved that as the stars get closer to the horizon, all of them appear to slow down. That
We've
means
known
that.
that for ages. 15 degrees. You can't do celestial navigation within that 15 degrees.
So therefore, by admission, why would you do 1 degree per 69 miles?
Because that's the claim. That's the stated claim.
But it doesn't always happen. It only happens when you're at high elevations towards the horizon. They converge. So again,
what
why
happens
would
if
you
it get shorter or longer at the bit that
All right,
you can't measure it?
Hang on a minute, chaps. Okay, I was just hoping for a really succinct kind of okay.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's tried to come in there. I was trying to lay it out, but
well, just I mean,
somebody
okay,
said that it
you're.
isn't true.
I tell you
I was
what.
giving best case
Bev,
scenario.
Bev.
Bev.
Hang on a minute. Yeah, just tell us. Do you? I mean, when you talk about the is it the dogmatic globe? Is that what you call it?
The dogmatic, the one with no proof.
Okay, now
You can call it a dogmatic flat Earth as well, couldn't you? Unless you've got any proof.
Well,
yeah.
you can
So
call it a measured flat Earth. You can call it a measured flat Earth.
Yeah, but that's the point. This gets measured with 69 miles on a horizontal distance.
okay, fine. So yeah,
Now,
I mean
there's a claim there's a 90 degrees and a 0 degrees. I believe you're close to the 0 there.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, okay, so, yeah, it's understood that that's how you get a distance, a standard format for the distance, right? The 69 miles or the nautical
The
miles.
distance is measured on the map already, right?
All
That
right,
is a definite distance.
So, okay, and
Just
so what?
related to an angle.
I mean, what's that proving either way?
If there's a 90 degrees and if there's a 0 degrees, then in between that 90 to 0, there are 90 divisions of 1 degree.
Well, yeah.
And if that's anywhere near the 69 miles for each one of those, then you're going to end up with a distance of 6,210 miles.
Okay,
Measurable.
Okay, but what's this proving about the shape of the Earth?
The circumference of the equator,
Well, it's only
no
just
matter
as far
what
as
shape you want to say, the length of the equator from start to finish is 24,901 miles. It's been used for centuries. That's what they use. That's what everybody uses. Now, if you want to challenge it, you can, but everything is related to that number.
Yeah, understood.
And that number does not fit 6,210. Just doesn't, mathematically, which proves that even if you have the best case scenario of 69 miles measured 90 times horizontally, it will not mathematically work with the equator, which you've measured the distance from.
It also doesn't work even if you subtract the 15 degrees that is difficult to measure. And if you
make it nothing, well, stretches
well,
there.
if you
can tell you
if you use the 75, yeah, if you use the 75 degrees that are measurable clearly, then that distance itself is already too long as well. So
you measured flat is a ridiculous statement on many levels. This is the most obvious, and I find it shocking that no flat earther has even attempted to work this basic mathematical operation out. Why is that?
Maybe you're just, I don't know, because when I hear someone say it's measured flat, I mean, I don't care about. I understand that yes, the nautical miles have been derived from the angles to Polaris, and then from that there's a limit to where the distance you can go and see Polaris. But from that, it's just you've got a standard measure of distance. That's it, as far as I'm concerned. But when you talk about measuring flat, we're talking about the horizontal measure of the surface of water on the surface of the Earth. We know that.
9 miles.
Huh?
Isn't that what you mean, though, when you do that?
Well, it's just, I mean, for me, it's really simple. The globers have taken this idea that Polaris appears to go down towards the horizon as Earth curve, when we know that's just perspective. And all it is just a way of establishing a standard way of measuring nautical miles, which is converted into degrees. That's it. I mean, I don't see why you have to.
The other day, Nathan put out one of his streams, which was about you. It was yours, was he was going over one of your videos that you asked him to critique for him and tell you whether you are correct. You said you weren't. Said you were still friendly, but you weren't. But you were, and he said he was going to send 10th Man over to put you right about it. And 10th Man clearly states the 5,400 nautical miles from the North Pole to the equator as a flat Earth horizontal elevation angle derived distance. And that's how it came about. So I don't know whether he came over to see you, but you're right, because
actually that was
Nathan said they were going to do, and
video.
QE.
Yeah, actually it was a response to an old video, but that was my point, and I was very long-winded in it, was basically what you've got ended up with. They've converted this angle that they observe to this assumed angle in the center of the globe Earth. It was really just, I mean, and that's all. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a starting point for measuring, but whether it actually...
In reality, what they've done is they've measured an angle on the land in reality, and then seen how far you have to move in reality on the land, 69 miles, or, for a 1 degree change. And then they've related that to something else. But the original measurement was a measurement done on land, in reality, a measurement to the light in the sky. So you have to grant that there is a place where there's a 90 and a place where there's a 0. And this, if it's a linear mathematical operation, it's 90 times 69. That's what you've actually got to deal with mathematically.
So
They're the numbers that you have. And they don't fit with the circumference of the equator. In fact, there's only one way that you can make them fit to the circumference of the equator. Mathematically.
Well, I mean, to be honest, mate, this is the problem with the whole... So what? I mean, because we're all just talking about lines on maps and this fundamental assumption
we can prove the horizontal.
Huh?
We can prove the horizontal.
Yeah, you do.
What I'm saying is, it doesn't help the measured flat Earth in one bit, because you are going to end up with this problem, and you can try and avoid it as long as you want, but it's still going to be there. It's been there all along.
I'm sorry, Bev, I still don't understand your point. I mean, you're arguing about... I don't know what you're actually arguing. Are you just kind of like picking bones about...
a case. I could make an argument. In fact, somebody has made an argument. It's called the measured flat destructive dichotomy. But you'd have to be able to understand where it's coming from. And it's coming from these measured, in reality, distances.
Well, okay, you're talking about basically all you're talking about really is establishing a standard way of measuring distances for navigation. Rather than miles, kilometers, it's nautical
No, we're
miles
just
using
no,
degrees.
no, no.
Huh?
All we're doing is setting out here. This isn't for navigation. This is just to establish latitude.
Yeah,
And
which is
your
what's used for
understanding of
navigation. Yeah, I
latitude.
mean, it's just a way of establishing a standard measurement for knots and distance is done from that. I mean, Sleeping Warrior had a point
Done
that it's
from
not always the same.
Reality measurements on the land.
But yeah,
And
okay,
they're
a distance.
used as an angle measurement, but it's not. It's a distance measurement.
Well, yeah,
for a
but
1 degree change in an angle.
yeah, the connection. I mean, to be honest, it's really. I mean, the connection is understood. I mean, what my whole kind of thing here is, yes, the globers have misinterpreted this declination as Earth curve when it's measured across a level surface. But okay, that aside, when people say it's measured
It's
flat,
not really Earth curve, though, is it? Because if you're measuring these distances horizontal, and then you have to fit the horizontals around a circumference of an equator.
Oh, it
Because I
doesn't
take it that the flat Earth does have an equator, right?
well,
Does the
yeah, I
flat
mean,
Earth have an equator?
it's just an imaginary, arbitrary line. It doesn't really matter.
So
Circles of equal elevation, though, isn't it?
Reality, right?
It's a circle of equal
Flat Earth
elevation,
does
isn't it?
have a place called the equator that is in reality. And
No,
that's
not
where
really.
the sun
Not
goes
not
from
by
east to west above your head a certain time of
Not,
year.
not
in
by
a straight
definition,
line.
no. Not true. Not by
So
definition.
east and west doesn't go in a circle around North Pole on flat Earth, is that what you're saying?
What am I? I'm saying that there is no such thing as an equator on a flat Earth, because by definition, an equator is the conceptual line between
There
the
is
two
an
hemispheres.
equator in reality.
There
So
isn't.
you're
It's
just
conceptual.
discounting
There's
it from flat
no
Earth.
such thing as latitudes. There's no such thing as latitudes or longitudes in reality. They're conceptual as well. They're begging the
There is
question.
for navigation, though. They're used for navigation.
There's just
Circle
measurements
of
in
equal
navigation.
altitude.
In reality.
No, in reality, there's no such. There's just measurements. That's it.
We call
What you do with
that
those
angle,
measurements-
though. We call that
Yeah, we do
angle
call
your
it that.
latitude.
No, we don't call it a latitude an angle. That's a mistake.
No, when you
And a
measure an angle to Polaris, you call
Yeah.
that latitude.
No, we don't. We call that an
Who
angle.
doesn't?
Nobody calls a measured angle a latitude.
It doesn't correspond with the latitude, then? Is that what you're saying?
It might correspond with something, and then when you construct this something in your mind using bendy straight lines and other things that we
talking about the
conceptualize.
lines. It's just a fucking position.
No, it's not a position. It's a measured angle, Bev.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I said. But you just said
You
it
did-
wasn't. Make your
No,
fucking mind up.
That's not what you just said. You said when you measure an angle, that is your latitude, and I said
To
no.
Polaris.
Yeah, that's just an angle. That's just
Yeah,
an
but
angle.
Circle
that's
of
your
equal
latitude
elevation.
Also, it matches
It's-
your
but it's
latitude.
It might correlate.
And
It might, but it
Yeah,
depends on the
because it
construct
is.
which
That's
you're
how it's
applying it to.
derived.
It depends on which construct you apply it to. But by
Well,
measuring
you
your
can check
angle
this
to
yourself. This
Polaris,
is one of the
you do
things
not
that
get-
you can check in reality. Have you ever measured an angle to Polaris?
when you measure an angle to Polaris, that is
Warrior,
all.
Have you?
have you ever measured an angle to Polaris?
When you measure an angle to
The-
Polaris, that is
I
all.
I
have.
haven't. No,
Have
Nathan
you
hasn't either.
ever measured an angle to Polaris?
This is a distraction from your point that you are incorrect on. I'm not
You could
following your.
answer
That's
it
fine.
honestly, just yes or
I'm
no.
interested in answering that. It's a distraction.
Nathan Oakley's
Your
never
point
measured an
is
angle. He
incorrect.
thinks everybody else has done it for him.
Your point is incorrect. When you measure an angle to Polaris, that is
Well, I
all
have.
you have. At no
You
point
haven't.
do you have your latitude or longitude or any
That's
other
my
number
what would
latitude,
be-
or any
Sleeping
other
Warrior. When
label.
I measured that angle, it was the same as my latitude. Surprise,
That's called
surprise.
correlative.
Was
That's
that
called
just a
correlative.
What would-
coincidence, was it?
It's
What would be the
correlative.
circle of equal
Why you're
elevation?
measuring an angle to
What
a
would be the
system that is conceptual.
Okay.
what would be the circle of equal elevation for that angle to Polaris?
Guys. You see, this is the thing. You're getting so lost in all of this. I mean,
No, we are not.
You described it on your
You
video,
are, Bev.
Phuket. You
You were
described
conflating
it.
terms
The
horrendously.
circles of equal elevation, the celestial navigation, the angle to Polaris, east and west circles around the North Pole, concentric circles
yeah. All my point has ever
from
been.
90 to 0 circles. But now you're saying they're not circles.
I'm not saying no. All I've ever said is that this method of measuring distance using angles to Polaris has been misconstrued as a globe Earth across a level
do
Earth.
that.
Now,
Nobody's measured a distance using angles. All we
Nobody's
have
measured-
said is between a 1 degree change on thingy, you can measure on a map a
Hey, Bev.
distance.
Bev, listen, no, you just said then nobody has measured a distance with a latitude. Is that what you just said? Or with an angle? Is that what, right? Nobody's measured a latitude with an angle either.
Distance, I said. A distance.
Yeah, that's what I said. I quoted you as saying nobody has measured a distance with an angle. That is what you said. Equally, nobody has measured a latitude with an angle either.
okay, I have
Just an angle. Your own words here are you can do fuck all with an angle, but you've converted an angle into a latitude, have you not?
It's just called a latitude, right?
No, it's not called an angle.
Polaris. You've never probably checked this, Sleeping Warrior, right? But anyone can do this. They can measure an angle to Polaris, and it will match their latitude. Strangely enough.
And it's not even accurate because it's slipped
Wherever they
time.
are.
Mate,
Guys,
Wherever they are on that
guys.
circle of equal elevation.
You know, it's
As Phuket
just
demonstrated.
the thing is, a lot of this is just obviously things have to get standardized, and that's what they've done. That's what you know. I have a
You
I have a
showed
little,
how that could be done. You showed how that was represented on the flat Earth because of those measurements, didn't you, in your video?
yeah, because I mean, it's just like I said, it's just very.
So you have extrapolated those imaginary numbers that you're claiming into reality.
No, Bev's just done that when he claimed that measuring an angle was a latitude. That's exactly what Bev's just done. That's called projection.
It corresponds with that, and the circles of equal elevation would give you that on that
Yeah, but it's not
circle.
even accurate.
That would be the same.
Have you ever checked it, Sleeping Warrior, to see how accurate it is?
He hasn't measured it.
Check your claim of it's not
It
even accurate.
It doesn't matter, Bev. You know, you seem to be
Of course it
picking
does.
fights
Look,
with people.
he's saying it's not accurate, and he's got no experience to be able to say that.
But the
No, but I
point
do
is,
have
what does it
evidence
matter?
to prove it's not accurate.
It's
So
a second a posteriori that he's passing off as a first hand a posteriori, a priori.
I do have evidence that proves that it's not true. So what's better, proof that it's not true, or experience that maybe inaccurate? Because let's be honest, anything that we ever
You
do,
haven't got either, though, have
we
you?
ever poo-poo. So our experience is irrelevant. What matters is have you got proof, and we can prove that the stars all slow down towards the horizon, as if we were on a flat plane converging, because that's exactly what you would expect. And Mick West has demonstrated proof. So the claim of 69 miles, nautical miles,
Is that the
that claim
UFO
of
guy?
is not even true. And even when it claims to be true, you're correlating it
Sleeping
to a
Warrior,
latitude.
it's fucking irrelevant.
Okay, guys, listen.
He's relevant, but his evidence is true. It doesn't do what you say it does, and even if it does, it's
Yeah,
still
but-
correlated only. It's
but
not a
Nathan-
measurement of
Off to
latitude.
somebody
Nathan.
else, Sleeping Warrior. You've got no first-hand experience.
Yeah, Nathan Oakley and
You dismissing proof is on
Nathan
you.
Oakley and
but-
10th Man told me a whole different story, though. Hello? 10th Man and Nathan Oakley have told me a whole different story about it. They
Well,
have
that's
told
why
me
I
about
thought-
the circles of equal
I
elevation
wanted
and
to
the
tell you the story.
distances and the relationship between, and the relationship between a measured angle to Polaris and a distance along the ground and latitudes. Now, they've told me that.
Well, perhaps you misunderstood.
Does that trump
I joined
Midwest
today.
or what? I mean, does
I
that
joined today,
invalidate your
Elderbear.
second-hand information?
Elderbear, I joined today so I could explain to you something that you should already know, and I'm pretty certain that you do know. You
But
made a
you don't
claim
know
that
it. You don't know it yourself. You're using Mick West as your authority.
No, I'm not. I'm using the evidence that Mick West provided, not Mick West
You
himself.
don't have,
Don't
yeah, and Tenth Man provided it as well, and Nathan Open, which opposes your position. Which
I don't know
second-hand
their
information is more valuable?
I don't know their
Which
position, and I'm
second-hand
not gonna
information is
accept
more
your-
valuable?
Hey, listen, Elderbear, I don't know their position, and I'm not going to accept your
Yes, you
regurgitation
do.
of it.
Yes, you do, because you've argued against it, and that's why you don't hang around there anymore. I heard the
Hey, listen.
scream when you argued against measured flat. You argued against it.
I argued
You know
against the
exactly
sex.
what the argument is, so don't pretend you don't know anything about it when you do.
I argued against Nathan's assertion that a sextant measures an angle. It doesn't. Sorry, what did no? That's not what he said. He said it measures the ground to be
Oh.
flat. That's what he said, and it doesn't do that.
Well, so you know what I'm saying then. So whose second-hand
No, I don't know what you're
information
saying.
is more valid?
No, I
Your
don't know what you're
second-hand
saying.
information or mine?
I'm not prepared to accept anything that you quote from anybody else unless you actually play the clip, because you
No, I'm not
twist
prepared to
words.
accept yours either, because
That's
you
okay,
haven't
but I've
done
not
it.
joined for this reason. I've joined to speak to you about your claim of the anti-rotated stars in the sky. Would you like to reassert that point so I can explain it to you, so you can learn and you can never come back and say it ever again? What is your claim about the anti-rotation stars?
It's not a claim, it's an observation of the observation.
Yeah, what is the
The
claim?
24-hour sun in the north rotates from left to right, and
Yes.
the rotation of the 24-hour sun in the south rotates from right to left.
Yes. Now, let's explain that so that you never come back and explain and say ever again that there's an anti-rotation of the sun in the sky. Okay? Let's start at the North Pole. You walk towards the equator, and as you walk to the equator, the sun begins to rise in your sky at zenith. It ends up at the equator.
You're at the North Pole. Hang on. No, you haven't got to go to the equator. You're at the North Pole while the 24-hour sun is in operation.
Yeah.
Or far north. It could be far. Don't have to be at the North Pole. Far north. Don't have to go to the equator. You observe the sun 24 hours above your head, going in a circle.
Elderbear, we have to do the equator thing for you so that you understand. And once we've done it once, you'll never repeat it again. So please understand that I'm doing this just for you.
Sound like
and
fucking Jesse Kozlowski.
Well, I don't know why you think that, but thank you very much.
Well, that's
Now,
what Jesse Kozlowski was saying. I'll say this one time, and then nobody else will have to say it ever again. You'll be able to refer to me, Sleeping Warrior, saying this.
Okay, well, thank you for I don't know whether that's a compliment or not, but we're not going to depart from it. We start at the North Pole and the sun's at the horizon. We move towards the equator, and the further towards the equator we get, the sun begins to appear to rise in our horizon. You get to the equator and it's at your zenith. At this point, we can agree, yes?
I don't know. I haven't done that. Have you done that?
Well, you were citing with Bev how 69 miles equals 1 degree. So by applying your own rule, it has to be that way. Are you now going against that rule?
No, it's not my rule. That can be done in reality, yeah. But the claim about the measured flat is not my claim.
That's a yes, then. We can agree that
It's about the
equator,
counter-rotating sun circles.
I understand that.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. Bear with me. I'm just trying to get the basics right at the beginning. So you carry on in the same direction that you were just traveling. The sun begins to pass behind your head. So your zenith now is going behind your head, more and more and more behind your head.
I thought you said there was no equator. It was conceptual.
I'm using your language so that you understand.
No, you're schooling me. It's your.
I am schooling you. Correct.
You're schooling me in the new story that I must employ. That's what you're doing. So I never have to ask again. So I believe what you tell me, but I never ever mention it again. Now, you said earlier that the equator was conceptual, and now you want me to stand on it with what did you say? The sun at my zenith.
I'm using your language so that you understand.
Sure. No, I don't understand. That's not my language.
Okay. So do you accept Do you accept that when the sun, according to you guys, 1 degree per 69 miles or 60 nautical miles, whichever, don't matter which, but 1 degree and it's linear, right? So there has to be a point where the sun reaches your zenith, directly above you, correct?
If you're in that position, I guess.
Good. Now you carry on in the same direction that you were working before.
Sure.
You carry on walking, and you
No,
don't
it's
change
got
direction.
nothing to do with the sun, the latitudes, has it?
No.
Right.
All right, guys, listen. Guys, look, this is the problem that I've always been trying to get away from. And it's just that you're going to spend hours and hours going around and round in circles arguing about the sun and the stars. And this is where, the globe has ultimately come from, right? It's come
Talk
from...
about the measurements, though. That's it. That's
All
what
right.
I was talking about at the beginning.
But okay, let me just ask you very succinctly, without referencing the stars or the sun or angles and things like that. Okay, this is a question from Theo as well. How do you define horizontal or level, or there being a difference between that and curved on the surface of the Earth without referencing the sun or angles of elevation and blaming other people for this, that, or the other? How do any of you define the difference between horizontal and curved on the surface of the Earth? Bev, you go
Not
first.
the
I'll give you
surface
1
of the
minute.
Earth, but you could say horizontal in reality relates to the curvature as pi relates to 2 in the very same way. It's a mathematical reasoning.
Without maths, without maths, without referring, without imaginary scenarios, without equators,
Don't
without
do
angles.
anything without logic.
Oh, come on. A physical,
Can't.
tangible, measurable difference between horizontal and curved. Come on, guys. Come on.
1969 horizontals and match that with a circumference.
Forget maps, forget angles.
901. That's all you have to do. That's everybody's puzzle to solve. Everyone's, not just
why is it 90?
the flat earthers.
Why is it 90, Bev?
Why is it 90?
Yes.
Because that's the geometric properties of a right angle.
Yeah, but why do we only need to do 90 measures of 69?
Because that was the best case scenario for the flat earth narrative. You have a right angle. Can you not remember 10th man's lessons? When you measure an
Bev,
elevation
stop.
angle,
All right, stop.
wait a minute.
Everyone's
When you
talking
measure an
about other
elevation
people. You
angle
come in
at
here.
location A, you generate a right angle triangle. So that's why the right angle is important. Because your flat earth narrative dictates it.
Right angle to what? And from where?
It was just generated from the angle that was measured at your location. You magic an other angle and make it into a triangle.
Yeah, but
That's
why?
the
To
flat
what?
earth narrative. I've
To
been telling
what?
everybody you can do fuck all with an angle. That's the one angle that you're measuring.
Well, you keep talking about
the flat
angles, Bev.
earthers have decided they were going to make an entire triangle
Out of what?
out of the one angle that they measure.
So they're making one angle out of an angle that they're measuring? Like to what?
They're making a triangle. Which
Am I
isn't
speaking
there.
English? Am I speaking English?
When
What,
you
the
measure
angle
an
to
angle
what?
when you measure an angle to Polaris, that's it. You are just measuring an angle.
To
But the
Polaris.
flat Earth narrative dictates there's also a 90. That's what makes it flat, I think, because then they're making a right angle triangle. They can call the baseline horizontal, and then a whoopee-doo. They've generated a flat Earth because of that
So
one angle.
I'm just trying to understand you. So then what you're saying is that from, say, the center of what we could say is possibly the center of the flat Earth, that Polaris is meant to be 90 from that. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think that's what the directed narrative is, yes.
Okay, all right. Well, I've just been trying to understand why the hell you're saying 90 and why did we only measure 90 times 69? Like, why would we only measure 90 times 69?
Because that's the how many angles there are between 90 and 0 to get your 0 equal altitude. It's been the narrative for flat Earth for at least the last 4 years, I'd say. You can't just be catching up on this now.
No, but why
Can
would you only measure, like, you're saying that obviously if there's a 2959 miles, then you guys are measuring 360-degree rotation at 69 miles to get that.
Don't know what.
So then why if
that then 29 what?
Come on,
like-
listen, guys.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
question
You're
was
talking
really
about
simple. Why can't you
24,900
just answer a really simple question?
6,200 the 6,210 takes you from the North Pole to the equator.
That's a horizontal distance, right? Everyone would agree that that is a horizontal distance, right? Measured on the map.
The equator being stated to be the equator stated to be in a circle of equal elevation, goes east to west around the North Pole,
0.
concentrically with the other latitudes. That's a circle.
In the flat Earth narrative.
Guys,
With the circle.
Bev, that's again. Sorry, I don't know who you're arguing with there, Bev. Is that
You
plain?
can correct me if if it's
Yeah,
not.
you keep talking about the flat Earth narrative, and you're picking on certain people that you've taken a disliking to and interpreting. I asked you a simple question, Bev. Shush, listen. A simple question, without referring to angles, without referring to other people, and interpreting what they say. How do you measure the difference between horizontal and curved? And are you saying that the Earth is a level plane or a globe? What's your position, Bev? State it clearly in a minute without referring to angles or other people.
Sorry, I can't do that. It's a horizontal, right?
Right, is the Earth essentially horizontal or curved?
The Earth has got nothing to do with horizontal. Horizontal is an orientation in reality. It's got nothing to do with the Earth. Your fantastic thing that you're trying to imagine. Horizontal just is horizontal.
so then curved has nothing to do with the Earth as well?
The Earth is as it is. You can see curves, can't you? You can measure elevation changes
Of?
of the land.
So
I
like
call that
you're
the
talking
Earth.
hills
Again.
and mountains?
So, Bev, again, I'll give you one last chance to answer the question. That is a very succinct question. How do we measure the difference between horizontal level and curved level?
Would
that be an elevation change?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about just the very fundamental argument between, without talking about other people, in general, flat Earth, globe
Isn't
Earth.
it?
Yeah?
Can you see the contradiction?
No, I see you contradicting yourself. I'm just asking for a very simple definition of the difference between horizontal level and curved level. That's
Can
what
you
I'm
prove
interested in.
Horizontal? Can you prove horizontal?
Yeah?
And what would you prove it to be?
It's just straight line, straight out, horizontal. Yeah? From one point to another. No change in elevation.
It would match Euclidean reasoning.
All right. Now, again, I'm talking about practical reality. Yeah? I just want to know.
Yeah,
Stop
that's what I'm
acting
saying.
like a glober and obfuscating the question. How do we measure the difference between horizontal and curved level?
You can't measure, because in order to measure anything, you're going to measure it either horizontal or vertical, right? The orientation of the measurement that you're
So we
going
can't.
to
There's no way of measuring curved level. That's cool. Yeah. We can measure horizontal though. Yeah.
We can only measure in straight lines. And that's due to Euclidean principles that we deal with in reality.
Right. So in that respect, the Earth is measured flat and level, horizontally. So,
Locally,
yeah.
yes. 69 miles all the way. Yes, that is what we're saying. Yes, horizontal can be proved to be a straight line in reality. At some point, you're going to have to match that provable straight with a circumference that doesn't match it. How do you
Now you're
that?
referring to maps and stuff, and you're referring to the sky. I'm not. I'm just talking about the land and the water on
to
it.
reality. Like you live near the equator, right? The sun travels.
Again, my question was to do it without talking about the sun, without referencing the sky. How do we measure?
Without referencing reality. You must be joking. In order for us to reference any a priori or a posteriori truths, we have to reference reality.
Yeah, well, the sun and the sky.
All of this exists.
The reality is what we can tangibly measure around us. The sun and the sky. Yes, it's reality, but we can't really prove anything with that. And the argument, the whole kind of flat Earth, globe Earth argument, is basically an interpretation of what the sun and the stars are, rather than the actual land itself. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, if you use Euclidean reasoning,
It doesn't matter what you call it.
What are you going to do when you reach a contradiction? How are you going to deal with that?
Where are you getting your contradictions from? You're getting your contradictions from maps and lines of latitude and things like that.
Euclidean reasoning. It's the only way to find a contradiction is to reason it with your logic.
You don't need to use reasoning or logic or anything to measure the difference between horizontal.
You have to use reasoning and logic, always.
When you
These are
measure,
things that people have to ask reality, right? I'm not against you. We are talking about reality, aren't we?
yeah. So in reality, water flows down curves. Do you agree?
Water flows down curves.
Yeah.
Water flows on the vertical datum, right?
Does-
A change
If you,
because of a change.
Bev,
of the
stop it.
pressure datum.
In reality, does water flow down curves or not? Does it flow downhill?
The water flows downhill, yes,
Okay.
because of a pressure change. Yes, we call this horizontal when there is no change in elevation.
Right. Yep.
That's what it's called
Okay.
in reality. And now we can measure these 69 miles, can't we? Horizontally on a map.
Yeah.
You
Don't
can
need
do
the
it
sky
now.
to
You
do
can
that.
get a map out, lay it down on your table, measure a distance on it, right? And that distance will be a horizontal distance in reality. There will be 2 points that match those 2 points on your map, and they will be horizontal distance between them. They will match.
Ah, all right. Well, fine. I mean, but this is it. Really?
Now, what you have to do is you have to match those geometric understanding that you have with a circumference that doesn't.
I don't have to do
fit
that
it.
at all.
No,
Don't
you
have
just
to do any of
Think
that.
about it at all, right? Don't worry about it. Just have the horizontal distance, right? But when people ask you to relate that to a geometric understanding, just say, nah, you don't need to bother doing that. Because it won't work. You cannot do it. But just brush it off. Say everybody else does it. You do that. I don't bother doing that.
But you're not taking us anywhere by. You're not resolving anything.
Prove the straight line lies within a plane in reality. Actually done that. Made arguments to show all of these points and how they work. But I still cannot match that horizontal distance to a circumference without shifting how I think of horizontal. which you have to do.
And I think it's that these numbers are exactly what's led Nathan to say, don't blame me. Don't put those numbers on me because I've never measured it. And now he has to remove himself from any of those measurements that he's been telling everybody about because of this. Everybody else has measured it, but not me. I haven't done it at all. Never done it. The king of flat earth.
It's a dead easy answer as well. It's just tis globe, isn't it? I mean, imagine how easy that is for everybody else, because they can do that. Flat earthers can't. How do you resolve it? It's been there all along. The mathematicians, if there ever was any within flat earth, have kept you hidden from this. And there's probably no way that you can compute it in your mind as well, because it just seems so contradictory.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of, when you refer to a map that has led people to believe we live on a globe, there are contradictions with reality. And when you start using the sun and the stars instead of, it's understood. I mean, that these 69 miles or whatever, the nautical miles, has come about from angles, and that's been turned into degrees, and you have, navigation, etc., that's derived from that. And it's been a way of measuring distances and directions on the Earth. But
when you put a model there in your mind, no matter what model it is, it doesn't make sense. You cannot make it make sense.
yeah, I
And
agree.
that's because
yeah.
the brain can't deal with those contradictions. So it just shuts down and forgets it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, globe is like a pacifier, because it will. You can just put everything into globe. And you don't need to bother doing anything else, because that's what the globe's there for. Flat Earth cannot do that.
Well, when you
right? And you're forever going to be explaining or trying to explain the unexplainable. Now, they've known about these things for hundreds and possibly thousands of years. But just recently, Will Duffy was allowed to show you blatantly, right into your face, the counter-rotational sun circles. That causes a meltdown. But along with that, there's this mathematical truth that's there, and it's been there also, that if you're going to try and relate the circles geometrically to your understanding of reality, there's a message somewhere that you can't do that. I'd say possible voice of God there telling you you can't do something beyond you. Your mere mortal capabilities, your little tiny minds can't even fathom the problem.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, to me, you haven't even really explained yourself very well. Like, I don't really even know what your argument is to do with the 90 degrees, 69 miles per degree.
That's the cope. Well
no,
done.
it's got nothing to do with cope.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to even understand your argument in the
I didn't
first
get the
place.
hell what you said. You were talking a load of nonsense. Let's not bother thinking about that. It's fine.
Now, don't be disingenuous. I'm actually asking you a question. To me, I'm not even gathering what you're actually even saying. What are you trying to say by 69 miles per degree? Obviously, that's meant to be your latitude, right? Now, to get to 90 is to the equator, and like
0 is the equator, supposedly. Circle
0
of
is the equator.
0 altitude.
Right, and then at, let's say, the North Pole, where straight up to Polaris is 90. So what are you trying to say? That from that point of 0 to that point of 90, we need to get 69 miles for each one of them to get 1 degree of difference within Polaris, right? Wouldn't that technically be the same whether it's flat or round?
Just a measured thing in reality, right? It's what happens in reality.
Okay, yeah,
It's
but
a
wouldn't that be
mathematically
saying,
linear operation, as in every
how is that
degree
different from
has an
flat to round?
equal distance between them.
How is that different from flat to round?
Well, it doesn't matter what elevation you are actually at whenever you measure in these angles, reportedly. Weird, I know, but I mean,
Can you
that's
just
what
answer
they
the
say.
question? How does that make a difference from flat to round?
It's just a measured angle. That's what I'm saying.
So
It
then,
is
but then
just
how are you trying to
an
say that
angle.
debunks the Earth as being flat?
No, I've never said that. Would you
Then
think
what's
it's
the
some
point?
sort of a debunking, is it?
That's what I'm trying
No,
to
the
wonder.
stated
Like, what
claim
the hell is
was
even
that
your
the Earth
point?
is
That's what I'm
measured
trying to figure
flat
out.
by flat earthers.
Well, yeah, I would agree with you,
We're saying
Plain.
that
What's the
even you
point,
give
Bev?
them the best scenario, they can measure the distance to the equator as being a horizontal distance of 6,210 miles horizontally, right? But that doesn't help you because the equator has a circumference of 24,901 miles. That doesn't mathematically match within Euclidean geometry, which
But either
means you have to remove yourself from Euclidean geometry and your understanding of the geometry that you've been using. Can you not work that out? Is that not like a mathematical sort of operation?
but it's 69 miles per degree on the globe too, right? So then technically, if you work that
In
out, wouldn't it
reality, it is. That's what it
still
is in
come to?
reality.
Can you stop over talking me and actually listen while I'm speaking? So in reality, then isn't that the same as on the globe? Wouldn't that also be 90 times 69? Because there's 90 degrees going from one to the other. So isn't it still the same measurement technically? So isn't there a problem for both?
Problem for both what? Problem with
Well,
reality.
you're saying that it's a
I
problem for
can't
flat
see a
Earth,
problem.
but both of them are going to have the same problem, right?
Same
That's
problem
what I'm
with
saying.
what?
What you're saying doesn't
In
make
the
any sense.
equator around that distance, that horizontal distance.
Yeah, but going from
I think
like 0 to
the globe
90
guys
on the
could do it
globe is
easy.
still the same. It's 69 miles per degree, which still comes to 6210.
Mathematically
Either
linear
way,
operation, yeah.
it's the same from globe to flat.
It's in reality, so I mean it has to be that way, right?
But then how does
You
this make a
flat
difference
earthers
from
have to
globe?
have this as well, don't you? Because it happens in reality. That's how we know what
Well,
we're
we're just
dealing
talking
with.
measurements to the stars anyway. But either way,
Just measure
what I'm
angles
trying
when
to find is
on the
what is
ground,
your point?
9 miles. That's been
But
measured.
what is your
That's
point?
the actual measurement on the ground, a horizontal distance. You can
Bev,
verify that distance.
Bev, what is your point? State your claim.
The point is that the flat Earth radius from the North Pole to the equator does not geometrically work with the circumference of the equator. I thought that was quite clear. I thought it had been said quite a few times.
Okay, but on the globe, is it also then true that there is 90 degrees between 0 and 90? The 0 point and the 90 point, is there still 90 and there's 69 of them? Is that the
In
same on the
reality.
globe?
Everything happens like in reality.
Is that the same on the globe?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is
We just
there
talked about
90
reality.
degrees of latitude on the globe?
Don't know what your globe is. Can we just say reality, right? The real.
Is there 90 degrees latitude on the globe?
No.
It's a pretty simple
you'll have to
question. Is there
have to
90
ask it.
degrees of latitude on the globe? It's a simple yes or
I
no.
think there's two sets of 90.
So there is a set of 90.
You're two. think there is. I think it
We're talking
opposites.
from the north to the equator in inverted commas.
I think there's
Right?
yeah. I
So
think
is
there's
there
the
90
southern
of
one.
them on the globe as well?
I think on the southern one, yeah. I think they've got another one.
We're not talking the southern, we're talking the northern. We're talking to Polaris here at the moment. Stop diverting.
Aren't you? Yeah, I know, but aren't you living in Australia at the minute?
Who cares, Bev? Answer the
I just wanted
question.
to
Is
try
there
and be
90
friendly
of them
to
on the
you as
globe or
well,
not?
mate. You have got your own circle,
Bev,
haven't you?
stop diverting, stop obfuscating. Is there 90 of them on the globe or not?
I think there's 90 of them twice, like I say.
Bev, we are
There's 90
talking.
of them to
Bev,
the equator from the
stop
north, and there's
being
90 of them from the
disingenuous.
equator to the south, I believe.
So from Polaris
So I've been
to
told.
the equator,
Actually,
is there 90 on the
the
globe?
only angle I can measure is the one that
I'm
I've
not
measured
asking you what you can measure. I'm asking
on the
you
model.
on the globe model, is there
There's two.
90 of them?
There's
Stop
two.
over talking me. Bev, stop over talking.
Well,
Is
I
there
keep
90 of them?
yeah.
Bev, do you actually understand how to shut up while someone's speaking? Okay, so is there 90 of them from Polaris, the 0 point, to the equator, the 90 point? Is there 90 of them?
The equator is the 0.
Oh, whichever. Sorry,
Saying
whichever.
that.
So the equator 0 to Polaris 90. Is there 90 of them?
Yeah, they say it goes 90 each way.
I'm not asking about each way, Bev. I'm just asking on the one
You
direction.
were keen on that though earlier on.
I'm asking you the one direction. Doesn't matter about whatever happened
90,
earlier.
yes.
Okay, so therefore then on the globe model, is there also 90 times 69?
Yeah, think about the bit of the AE map, the center bit of there to the equator.
It doesn't matter.
That's
On the
same
globe, Bev,
it's
can you stay on point? Stay on point. Stop diverting to all these other little bits and pieces. On the globe, is there 90 between Polaris and the equator?
Is there some sort of a contradiction here? Because you can't seem to hear me.
Bev,
Yeah.
Bev.
Why do you
Okay,
wanna keep
listen, mate.
hearing?
You are going off all over the place, right? When you say flat Earth, are you talking about an AE map? Is that what you're referring to, just like Duffy did?
No, I'm trying to talk to this guy about talking about 90 latitudes
All
in
right,
between the pole and the equator. And I'm trying to let him know that the AE map is what we have in reality that shows the 90 from there to the equator.
And is there 90 on the globe from the equator to the North Pole? Simple yes or no.
Yes.
So therefore then there is also 90 times 69 on the globe, correct?
Yes. Horizontal miles.
So therefore they both are going to get the same mistake then, aren't they?
In reality, I keep saying this. Yes. And what happens when reality does not match your expectations? What happens?
Reality's not matching expectations on either then, is it? True or false? Is reality making expectations on both of them or not? Because they both have 90 and they both have 69. So they both have 69 times 90. So what you're saying is a completely moot point. It's ridiculous.
Well, I'd say if pi has to equal 2, then the reality you're living in
Pointless.
might not be the reality that
Pointless, because it's reality on
think a little
both
bit
models,
weird,
Bev.
maybe one of those signs from God that you can't do this.
Is
perhaps.
it reality on both models, Bev? Yes or no?
It is reality. These things are things that happen in reality. Yes.
On both models? Either way, it's
in
reality, right? So therefore, then you're just saying that it's only a problem on the flat Earth is redundant. It is irrelevant. It is a problem on both then, isn't it?
Yep. Not a
So then what
problem
is your
for those of us
point?
that live in reality, though, right?
But what's your point? What difference does it make? If it's a problem on both, then it's a problem on both.
Uh-huh. And you can both keep ignoring it.
But why are you making
Great.
it? Why are you making it out like it's a problem for flat Earth and only works on a globe when we just established that it doesn't work on either? So clearly, then there's
Then you
something
can't
else
explain
going
it,
on,
can you?
right? Which means that we live in an optical goddamn world, and everything about this world is optical, including counter-rotating stars, counter-rotating sun. Everything is optical. The horizon rising to your eye level or rising with the observer, it's all an optical phenomenon. Everything, it is 100% true.
No, you
And
can. That can be observed. It doesn't.
yeah, it does.
Oh,
Why would it
then you
not?
would have experience of that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
The horizon rising to your eye level.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
And I can show you it not at my eye level as well. And why would it not be at my eye level? Let's just establish one thing first, Bev. Why do we have a horizon in the first place?
It's just where the sky meets the land.
Yeah, but why does the sky meet the ground there? Why? Why is it there in the first place?
It's just one of those things, isn't it?
Okay, so now let's imagine that you're on the beach, you've dug a hole, you dug a hole in the sand, and the
Yeah.
ocean on that day is dead flat. Let's just imagine that we can have a dead flat ocean. There's no ripples, there's nothing. Random day, we've got no wind. It's incredible. It's 100% dead flat. And you dig a hole and you put your eyes so perfectly, all you see is just a straight line in front of you. The horizon basically literally looks like it's just that point right in front of your eyes. Okay, so that's 1 foot away from you. How do you create a horizon now to be in the distance? How do you create that horizon in the first place?
How do I create? I don't create it. It's always there.
No, you do create it.
I
You
just don't see
create it.
No.
Why is it there? Why is it right in
always
front of your eyes when your eyes are at perfect level
There
with
it-
it
I'm
and
not
it's all
there as well.
perfectly
I
flat?
mean, I'm
Listen,
not creating anything.
listen. When it's perfectly flat and your eye level is 100% on that because you've dug a big hole in the sand and your eye level is perfectly flat with the horizon, why then, how are you going to get a horizon now to be a distance away from you? What are you going to have to do?
And why do I want to get it at a distance away from me?
No. Answer the question. How are you going to get the horizon to be a distance away from you?
The horizon's already there.
No, the
I'm not
horizon
gonna
is
do
like,
anything
the
to
horizon's
it.
1 foot in front of you. How are you going to say, get that horizon to be 3 miles away from you?
Put in front of me.
How are you going to get the horizon to be
talking
3
about?
miles away from you?
I don't know. This is brilliant.
You
Is
don't,
this
you
the
don't
new-
know?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't know? Yeah, this is new because it's something that no one else has actually ever introduced, right? Because no one has ever actually thought about why we have the horizon there in the first place and what creates the horizon in the first place. So what I'm asking you is, how are you going to get a horizon at 6 feet away, like at 6 miles or at 3 miles away from you? How are you going to get that horizon to be 3 miles away from you when you're dead in line with it? And that
Do I have
horizon is only going to be like 1 foot away from you because your eyes are so perfectly in line with it. It's right there in front of your face. How are you going to get the horizon to be 3 miles away from you?
I don't know. Do I have to be 6 foot? Do I have to rise in vertical in order
Oh,
to be
fucking
the
brilliant. So you had to
It's just a
rise
question.
above
That's-
the surface. So
Yeah,
what
but that doesn't
created the
actually
horizon?
change the horizon at all, does it?
Ev, what created the horizon?
It won't. The horizon's already there.
No, the horizon's
Just
right in
something
front of
that
your
I
eyes.
observe.
The horizon's dead in front of your eyes because you're level with it.
It's some sort of a special property that I don't think it actually
The
has.
only thing that creates a horizon in the first place is your height above the surface for you, because the horizon is personal to you. Just like everything else in this world is optical
Giving it to
and
me.
it's personal to you.
Not you.
Because if I'm 100 feet, if I'm like 100 feet directly above you,
Someone else.
and you're down at like 1 foot, are we seeing the same horizon at the same spot?
I don't know. I've heard these sort of arguments before, but they're not
What do you mean
really
you don't know, Bev? Are you retarded? It's a simple question. If
just
when you're at 1 foot
living in
and I'm at
reality.
100 foot, are we seeing the
Don't
horizon
bother
in the same place?
talking about stuff. You're the one that's obsessing about digging
Are
holes.
we
in
seeing?
horizons.
See, you're just diverting, Bev, because you don't want to answer the question, do you?
Horizon.
Right.
I think
So
you should push the limits a bit further than that. Look beyond the horizon.
So when you are 1 foot above the horizon and I am 100 feet above the horizon, are we looking at a horizon at the same spot? No.
Just the horizon, right?
But are we looking at it at the same spot?
Looking at it through different eyes. So I'd
Are
suggest
we
that
looking at it at
you
the
already
same
said that
spot?
it's
Is
not.
that horizon the same distance
How
from
could
us?
it possibly be the same spot? It's not even the same eyes.
Right. So who creates the horizon and why do we create the horizon? The horizon is there because of the level of your
about
personal
why?
eyes for you. That's why there's a horizon there in the first
Why does the
place.
horizon matter to you? Why
You
are
like
looking
talking
off
while
in
someone
the
else is
distance?
talking, don't you, Bev? Because you don't actually want to have your point destroyed. You don't want to have anyone to be able to hear the point that's going on. So you need to talk above people.
Is it because you can imagine a right angle over there?
Pointless. Irrelevant. Why are you saying that? It's irrelevant.
Well, I don't know. Why are you looking at the horizon then? What's the...
We're going on to it.
purpose
And
of us looking
we're
at
going
the
through why is
horizon?
the horizon created in the first place? You're trying to say that it doesn't go to your eye level. Why is the horizon created in the first place? If my eyes
It doesn't go to your eye level. It doesn't rise. Can't do.
Okay, so let's just say then that I mean,
Is that a fixed elevation?
if I can share
right?
screen, I
You
can
are
prove it to you.
rising
And
in your
we can-
altitude. How
No.
the fuck could something that's got a fixed elevation rise with you? It's
okay,
nonsense.
so let's put it a different way then. Visually, apparently, in your visual perception, what you see within your field of view, the horizon appears to rise with you. We're not retarded. We all know that it doesn't actually rise with you. It's all visual. It's an
Because
optical
it can be
phenomenon.
shown visually as well to not rise.
No, false.
Have you ever, for any strange reason, took an auto level up a hill?
What I've done, Bev, is I stand on a jetty, which I've done for 600 days, and I have a particular thing that I film and take photos of out in the distance.
Auto level?
And what I can show you is the horizon changing height up and down quite a very large range, right?
Have you ever done
And
it
when
with
it
an
is
auto?
low, when the horizon is low, why do you think the horizon looks low?
Have you ever done it with an auto level?
That's not what I asked you. I asked you, why do you think the horizon would look low?
Because it's just something optical.
So what difference does it make if it's with an auto level? It's optical, and it's not just optical.
Yeah, but you
It's
would
not just
set
an optical thing, which it
set a
technically
level
is,
at your
but it's not
position,
just an
wouldn't you?
optical thing.
To
Why
see
would the
whether
horizon appear low?
light
So if
ever
you're
does rise to that.
Guys,
yeah, it does,
okay.
because there are times when the horizon is above your eye level, even with an auto level.
No, there isn't. That's impossible.
That's bullshit. Even Jesse, the Path of Light has shown it. What are you talking about?
Well,
Come on, Bev. You know that when we're talking about the
Disingenuous.
horizon being at eye level, I mean, and it's something we've all looked at this and we all understand that we're talking about an optical effect, and the whole reason we talk about the horizon. Bev, can you just listen?
Yeah.
All right. The whole reason we talk about the horizon is because the globers use it as their so-called proof that we're on a globe, which we know is not true because horizons are not curvature; they're not an edge. That's the point there. Yeah. All right.
But the point is for me is that I've actually done this. I've took an auto level out, and I've changed my elevation, and I've looked at the
that's
horizon,
awesome.
and it has never risen.
The
Tell me if it's
horizon
not
doesn't
logical.
remain fixed. It's not a fixed thing. We all know this, Bev.
It
Yeah.
doesn't rise
Yes,
to the level, though.
It rises with you.
Yeah,
You know
it
that
does.
if you gain elevation, it rises, yeah?
It does not rise with you.
It does rise with you. It apparently it
It's an
appears
optical
to rise
effect.
with you. Yes.
Yes, but if you put a tool there, you will see that what you're saying is a false statement.
No, multiple people have
You're
done it,
leading
Bev.
people into
Multiple people have done
a
it.
false claim.
Even what was his name? Who was the
Your
older
man
fella?
is
Didn't he
just
die?
cited Jesse. George.
Yeah, George.
He also did it. So if
Yeah,
you want to cite two
and he
globers
showed.
that say the horizon actually does rise above the crosshairs, that's up to you. I know that none of
It's
you
on
have
video.
ever did it.
What are you talking about, Bev? Jesse literally has it on video on his channel. Where the horizon is above
Jesse
the eye
hasn't
level.
got any calibrated tools. He's bought them all.
Oh, so now Jesse's no good. I thought you just said Jesse didn't prove it. Jesse's never shown it. Jesse has shown it, and so has
You're
George.
the one that's saying you're citing Jesse as your source. For the
I'm
horizon
saying,
rising.
yeah, because Jesse has it above his crosshairs.
Well done. Well done. I'm sure he'll be happy to hear that. Well done, Jesse.
Bloody hell. It's funny, isn't it? You know, it's like all you've done, Bev, is talk about other people, this, that, and the other, and you really just behave
I
like a
didn't bring
glober,
Jesse
yeah.
into it.
It's like, God, I ask you how to determine the difference
That was
between
the thing.
level and curved, and we can't even get that. I mean, it's just mental. I mean, you're going around and around in circles. I mean, and you know, Plane was asking you basically, what is your point? And we still haven't got you. I don't know how long this has been going on for, but it's like getting on for hours. And you did it the last time, Bev. It's just like you
forget
never
about
make a
it.
fucking point.
Probably better to forget about it.
Yeah, you're the one
Talking
who
about
brought up
I
the
mean-
auto
in
level.
reality,
So that's why I use Jesse
Think yourself out.
Kozlowski as
Don't
a.
worry about it.
I
Best
use
not
Jesse
to
the
think about
Puffer.
it.
I use Jesse as an example because you said that the crosshairs of an auto level will never show the horizon above them. That is a flat out lie. And I'd be happy to drop 10K as a bet on that right now. Are you willing to do that, Bev? You willing to do that live on thing? You're going to drop 10K on it? That the horizon is never seen above the crosshairs of an auto level?
Topographic horizon.
The horizon, Bev. Don't start changing and going into blah, 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 blah. The horizon, which you said never rises above an auto level's crosshairs. Are you gonna drop the money down?
Drop money for what?
The horizon being above the crosshairs of an auto
Jesse,
level.
You Jesse did it.
Guys.
So did George.
Yeah. Was that an auto level? Or was that
Is that an auto level or a theodolite or a...
We have an angle pointing downwards.
Oh, so what you're saying is that George didn't know how to use his equipment and neither does Jesse. They don't know how to use their equipment.
Why
Is that what you're saying?
Why are you citing two known?
Why are you trying to get around it, Bev? Why are you trying to get around it? You're the best at obfuscating around, aren't you? You love diverting. You're the one that brought up the auto level.
Yeah.
You brought up the auto level. You said it never rises above an auto level crosshairs. I'm proving you wrong. And now you're like, oh, those guys don't know what they're doing. Why are you using them? They're called hostile witnesses, right? You know that, right?
Yeah. Well, the horizon will not rise above the crosshairs.
All right, drop 10K on it right now then, Bev. Drop the money, Bev. Come on, admit here right now that you'll put the bet down. Are you going to put the bet down, Bev? Are you going to put a bet down right now that the crosshairs of an auto level have never been below the eye level?
Whether I've got a backer, because I don't actually have that amount of money.
You won't do it, will you, Bev? Because you're full of it and everyone knows it.
I can't faithfully sort of put that money down because I haven't got it.
If Jesse, okay, how much do you have?
Your 10,000.
Okay, guys. All right. Okay.
This is hilarious.
Yeah, this is really, I think it's getting very annoying and frustrating for a lot of the people that
Yeah,
have tuned in. And, you know, it's really, it is quite frustrating because really, I mean, what I'd love to do is just establish a way that we can actually measure the difference between horizontal level and curved level. It's such a fundamental thing, which, I mean, yeah, you've pointed out plain that, yeah, it's an optical thing, and we know about the whole debacle with horizons. Bev, you kind of like you kind of seem to use words that you say reality, and I know you have a certain meaning behind that word reality, and we still haven't got to what your point is 2.5 hours that this stream has been going now, and you've consumed a massive part of that
really
stream.
Quickly.
Yeah, while
Sum it
making
up
no
really
points.
quickly. There is no difference between level and horizontal, right? Apart from the fact that when you do this large scale, you have to be able to comport that understanding with a circumference that doesn't match.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't.
So
Again,
as
it doesn't
long as
matter.
you
You're
can-
talking
as long
about
as you
making
can
a circumference
have
of what? A map.
right?
You're talking
Then
about
you'll be
converting it
fine.
into a map, right? Is that when you talk about a circumference, you're talking about converting it into a map?
All the maps are already done. We measured them at 69 miles horizontally on the maps that have already
We
been
just
made.
establised.
Yeah.
We established.
It's a
Bev, that it
circle of
doesn't
equal
work in your model either.
elevation called the equator. The latitude at the equator is circle of equal elevation. I thought you'd measured it.
It doesn't work on your model either. We just established that you have 69
What model? I
miles
haven't
per
got a
degree
model.
as well.
I haven't got a model. I don't know how I can compare it with my model because I haven't got one.
Okay, so you don't believe in the globe?
Just
No.
what happens in reality.
No,
Okay.
that's your assumption. You can live with it if you want.
We established that it doesn't work on either model or either idea.
False dichotomy.
Either whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, false dichotomy. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you also go and argue with the Globers and you say the exact same argument to them to say that what they're introducing doesn't work as well?
Different ones.
Do you argue that with the Globers as well then?
You have to tell them that level's horizontal. Same here.
Do you
Yeah.
argue the 69 degree and 90 to the Globers as well?
Yeah, there's no argument though, because it's what happens in reality.
Yeah,
This is one of
they're
those
happy
things
to have
that
it.
you have to have.
Yeah, but
There's no getting
Bev,
around it. Whichever
you
model
go-
you want to imagine, you have to do this on it. Have to.
Right. It's really a it's an exercise in keeping you cool, isn't it, Bev? So we've already established that that whole 90 and 69 thing also has to happen on a globe. They make that claim. Do you agree with that?
You squash flat. Is that the bit that you squash flat?
Does the globe make the claim that there's 69 degrees per 69 miles per degree, and there's 90 of them between the equator and Polaris and the North Pole? Does the globe make that argument?
It happens in reality. It's
Does
not
the
an
globe-
argument. It's a
But
statement.
does the globe make that statement?
In reality, the globe doesn't need to make the statement. Stop mentioning it as though it's some big high authority. These are just things that happen in reality.
You
Okay,
keep
cool.
saying that in reality, Bev, but I'm pretty sure when you talk about reality, you're referring to some kind of geometric interpretation or some lines on a map. That's not they're not reality. Yeah, I mean,
You're trying to.
this is
Sorry.
because people end up arguing
So
about.
no maps you use are reality? Is that what you're saying?
Geometry
You don't
isn't
use
real.
maps in reality
I'm not saying. Did I
to
say
get from A
that?
to
No, stop
B
putting
and
words into my mouth.
distances and. Well, I'm just asking. I'm not putting it in your mouth. You can spit it out if you want. Just saying. Is that what you're saying? That the maps you use
My
are
question.
of no use to you?
my
They don't have
question-
reality.
My question to Bev was when he uses the word reality, is he then referring to maps and lines on maps? Is that, can I have a yes or no answer?
But
I'm referring to reality. If I'm
Okay.
talking about a map, I'll call it a map.
So when you're
Right?
talking about,
Because
okay, in
Talking about
reality,
reality, I'm talking about actual reality.
right. Now again, my question about an hour or so ago was, water flows down curves in reality, doesn't it? Is that a true statement about reality?
But it doesn't flow up curves.
Does water flow down curves in reality?
It doesn't flow up curves.
Can you?
Do you know how to answer something straight, Bev?
Well, what happens if there's a curve? The water doesn't flow down.
I've never seen that. Have you seen that?
Well, that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it doesn't flow up curves. Because I know what people are like. You could go, well, here's a curve that water isn't flowing down.
Oh, I'd love to see that. I've been asking for that for the past 10
You
years,
just
but
go
no
in
one
a
can
curve
produce
that goes
it.
in the up direction, wouldn't you?
So, Bev, it sounds to me like you're just trying to sit on the bloody fence so you can kind of
No,
flip
I'm
from
just-
one side to the
I'm
other.
aware of the little games people play.
I'm not playing any games. I'm just asking you a straight question. You're playing games
Water
by...
flows downhill, yeah.
Exactly.
We know
You're the
how
one playing
water
games,
flows.
Bev. You're the one who does.
Bev,
who won't answer.
it's a
the
simple
straight
question.
so is that
Because I want to
is
know
that
what
all
your...
the oceans and the sea? Is that what you mean?
You seem to
The
be...
oceans and the sea, all of that.
I'm just... Because, I mean,
That's all
obviously
constant motion flowing.
there seems to be confusion
that
about the word
water.
reality. I'm really literally
But that's
asking...
reality, isn't it?
I didn't hear you,
The
Elder Ben.
oceans and the sea are in constant. The sea and the oceans are in constant motion.
Yes, they are, but...
Is that what you mean?
No. Does water flow down curves in reality? Yes or no?
It doesn't flow up curves. That's what you just said. I mean, what you're stating.
You're as
You're
bad as the
stating the obvious,
Glovers.
aren't you?
You're so afraid
You're
to
stating
commit.
the obvious.
Oh my God, it's
No, no.
ridiculous.
No,
To
but
answer
I'm
the
saying,
question.
do you mean like the sea and the oceans?
I just asked you, does it flow up or down? Does it flow down curves? That's a simple question. Is it a yes or no? It's a yes or no answer.
It goes down. We know that water goes down. We know that.
Right, so that we can...
Unless it can't go down anymore.
Right, okay,
Goes
so
down slopes as well.
we can say that's a definition of reality, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an a
Well, definition is-
posteriori observation.
Yeah. Like the sea or the oceans, probably.
Well, I would say it's not just an observation, that's a physical reality, And so apart from maps and models
You
and
can
things like that,
observe
which...
it in reality.
Yeah, okay, so in reality,
Yeah,
because you
the
keep
sea.
using that word...
The sea and the oceans.
Sorry, I'm kind of trying to, and people are just talking over, so it's just like, yeah, I was just trying to get, a definition of the word reality. I mean, that's my simple, fundamental definition of reality. But I mean, is there something
When it
beyond
can't go
that?
down anymore, we call that state horizontal.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's cool.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, all right. So, I mean, so Bev, when you say the word reality, you're not referring to maps or models and things like that. You're just talking about a fundamental aspect of our physical reality, such as water flowing down curves.
Yeah. Such as
Like
an
the sea,
angle
the
measurement
oceans.
made in 2 locations.
Well, angles are observations, which are going to be arbitrary.
Yeah. So's the observed change of location. That's an observation too.
So, are you mixing that in with your definition of reality when you talk about in reality?
In reality, I can measure an angle outside my house. In reality, I can measure a distance on a map. In reality, I can go to that location on the map because it's not just a location on a map, it's a location in reality
Right.
that relates to the thing on the map.
Yeah.
And I can measure another angle. And there I've measured 2
Right.
angles and a distance.
So
That's
does
something
a
anyone
does a
can
map
do.
change the nature of reality, as in water flowing down curves, or not? Does a map or an angle change that?
No, I mean that's the good thing about this angle measurement.
Right. So when you
doesn't
require
require an elevation change. So that means that distance has to be a horizontal distance.
Right. So in reality, distances across the Earth are horizontal, regardless of how we decide we're going to measure them or calculate them or whatever like that. And yes, there's going to be hills and valleys in between, yeah. But we're basically, we're not living on a globe.
Actually on Earth.
Oh, bloody hell, will you just listen when I'm trying to just, because this is it, mate.
Well, I'm trying to point out the difference.
There's no point in trying to point something out while I'm trying to talk, and it means you can't listen, yeah?
But you can't say that the distances are measured in reality horizontal.
Why
Well,
not?
they measured curve.
Because it will be sloped distances.
From what?
They're measured on the map.
Well, I'm not talking about
Horizontal.
maps. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You kind of keep talking about maps and models and things like that, and we know that just creates confusion. And by kind of going off on these kinds of things, that allows you to sit on the fence. Yeah, and maps and models aren't reality. We know that. This is the problem. This is why we are where we are, because maps and models have created confusion about what reality actually is.
Didn't you just agree that that was so? That those measured distances could be verified in reality from the map?
What map? There's millions
The
of
one
different
that
maps.
Bev was sort of measuring 69 miles on. Well, you can choose whichever one you want.
Well, I
Whichever one
said
you
right. I
trust.
said it.
I don't know if you trust one.
I said a couple of hours ago. It's just been this. It's just been that derived as a standard
But
measurement.
you've got to get from A to B in reality, haven't you?
Yes.
You go from A to B in reality.
You can
then
use.
that relates to some number, some unit of measurement
Yeah, of course.
that you believe in, or you don't, or you say, oh, from Phuket to Bangkok is X amount of miles, and then you go, oh, no, it's not.
No.
It's
There's
a
no
lie.
disagreement there.
That's a lie.
So you're putting words
Yeah,
into my mouth.
okay.
Stop it. There's
No,
no
I'm just
disagreement.
I'm just trying to. No, you got. That's it. So we have an agreement then that will relate to the map.
Well, the map is not. The maps are always done in a certain scale, and they are projections, aren't they?
Yeah,
When
that's,
you talk
that's
about
how you would get the 69-mile relationship by using a scaled map. Yes, because it relates one to one with the map.
The whole thing's just a moot point anyway.
Yeah, I know. This is it. That's the thing. We'd be going round and round in circles because you keep arguing about maps.
No,
yeah?
it's.
I originally
No,
answered
we've
this
agreed.
question.
You've got your horizontal, straight line, linear, elevation, angle, derived miles. 69 of them per degree.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. But why is it a moot point?
But that's where you meet a problem. That's what's been
Explain why
pointed
it's
out.
a moot
That
point.
then you meet a problem.
Okay, awesome. Explain why it's a moot point. Explain why it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because either thing, whether people are going to say that it's a globe or whether it's flat, there's 69 miles per degree. There's 90 of them. So it's a problem on both of those within reality. So therefore, then both of them aren't matching reality in that sense, then, are they?
No problem about reality. They're just observations. They're just things that we observe in reality.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Good on you, Bev. So you pointed something out that we
Yeah,
observe in reality. Good, cool story, man.
Like
you still
to
haven't made a
rotate in
point.
sun circles. So like when we began, an
You still
observation in
haven't made a
reality.
point. You still haven't made a point. You just
Sun
keep
going in
"There's
opposite direction
69
in two different locations.
Just keep going. There's 69 degrees. There's 90 of them. And it doesn't match reality. Okay, cool. Cool story. Cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say, buddy?
Carry on. Just pointing out the problem. That's all.
Okay, cool.
What's the actual problem?
For who? Yeah, problem for who?
No problem. It's just
The problem for those who say it.
That's how you measure it flat. But how do you
Man, you gotta
explain
get off
pi
the
equaling
drugs, dude.
2?
You really got to stop smoking. You got to get off the crack.
When you put out a video, specifically addressing it, you ask for the king of flat earth to critique it. Then I guess it's for those people who say it. And who've said it for many years. Said it for many years. And in fact, they've got to send 10th man over to correct you, Mr. Phuket, because you are wrong. Nathan said you're wrong. You were asking for his approval.
Oh, I don't seek anyone's approval. I don't care whether people approve of me or not. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a bloody flat earther, would I? Yeah. Or my point has always only ever been that whether you're talking about feet, miles, kilometers, whatever, like you said, it's just a.
So did he come to talk to you about it, and so you were on the right track, or?
I think you've misunderstood the point of my video. The point of my video was just to say this angle that you measure on the surface is related to the angle that they assume is in the center of the Earth. That's it.
In hell, you mean? That's hell. That's called hell.
Nathan said that you asked him to critique it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You were a bit unsure as whether you were right or not.
Yeah, about that. It's just the simple fact.
Did he get back to you? Or did he expect you to see that video?
Again, what is your point? You're just making some idiotic points here. Here I am asking if we can change.
Because there is a reference to people who make those claims, who you are directly involved with, who made these claims about this relationship between 60 nautical miles or 69 statute miles and a 1 degree measured angle to Polaris.
Yeah, where did that come from? It's not my claim. That's
locally. You copied it. You tried to do a representation of it and asked to be critiqued on it as to whether you were correct. You're in the midst of those people, and now you're saying nobody's done it. You don't know anything about it.
No, again,
a lot of people are doing that.
What the hell are you on about? You are putting words into my mouth. You're making unfounded accusations. Yeah.
So you don't know anything about this relationship between the angle to Polaris and the distance along the ground.
Well, of course. I mean,
you have no knowledge of it.
No.
As a proof of flat Earth. As a proof of flat Earth to measure the Earth flat. You've never used that. Is that what you're saying?
No, Elder Bear. You keep saying, is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Will you let me explain what... In fact, I've already said it. And I've pointed it out in my videos. You're just misinterpreting it in your own little fantastical way. In some kind of attempt to create... I don't know what, again, it's just the usual divisive tactics that I see going on. Yeah? Now, are you going to let me explain?
It's very much like the establishment who do those kind of things, who when confronted with an issue that is empirically, validated, they double down, they call you a liar, they isolate you and get the peer pressure around to try and get you, isolated in the community. That's what happens when you point something out.
It seems that's what you're trying to do right now, mate. Yeah? All any of you've done in this stream so far is talk about other people. Yeah?
They are the root. Yeah, because it's a community of people to which you relate to and you draw from, and
What? And
you give the data.
Yeah. And what have I said? What have I said at the beginning of this stream? Yeah. Flat Earth is not a cult or a community. It has no leaders, and we have no model. FE is a topic of discussion about philosophy. Will you shut up and fucking listen? Hey, I'm giving you an answer. You're asking for
me as if he was my boss.
You come in here, make accusations, ask me for explanations. You've been muted, by the way, yeah?
Do you actually have to waste your energy?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
With this
I am. I'm wasting my time and energy with these guys,
You're gonna feed this ego? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
They can't answer anything straight. They're just making a complete moot point.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean shit.
No.
There's nothing to what they're actually saying.
No.
If they're trying to say that it doesn't work on flat Earth, it also doesn't work on the globe because it's the exact same problem on the globe.
Yeah. No, it's funny.
It's just reality, though.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's funny. My daughter's just come over and said how ridiculous this whole thing is. Yeah, why am I wasting my time and energy with these guys? And she's right. It's pathetic. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And in many ways, this is why the people like the Duffys and that, they actually have a point. They actually, you know, because they know if they can draw you in and create these arguments, flat earthers that do this make themselves look bloody stupid and immature. Yeah, because they end up arguing about and the ego gets in the way. Yeah, and then you get people stoking it and trying to, you know, just put the fire under your belly. Plain, you've been very, what's the word? Calm, collected here.
Reasonably.
Reasonable, yes, that's a good word. Reasonable, yeah. But you've got these unreasonable people just trying to create problems. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm quite
Problems
surprised
for
I
stuff
kept my
that
cool as
happens
well as I
in
did.
reality.
Yeah. So,
It's
so-
like we've still got to get Bev to show that crosshairs of a Seattleite never are below the horizon,
Not
Yeah, I mean,
or a auto level or whatever total station is what Jesse Kozlowski uses. Are you saying that a total station, this piece of machinery that can cost $20,000, doesn't measure things properly? Are you saying that Jesse doesn't know how to use one? Is that what you're saying? Is that your claim?
Jesse Kozlowski or Jesse?
Jesse Path of Light. Are you saying that he doesn't know how to use one? Is that your claim? Does Jesse Path of Light not know how to use a total station?
He's not got a calibrated total station in his
Oh,
exec.
right. So
Okay.
what I'm going to do is I'm kind of like texting him on one of his comment sections. So I'm going to say that Bev said that your stuff isn't calibrated properly and that you'd have no idea what you're talking about, so no one should listen to you.
He knows his
We
stuff
told
isn't
him
calibrated.
ourselves.
And how do you know it's
He
not
told
calibrated?
us, in fact.
How do you know it's not calibrated?
We've spoken to him about
He
it.
thinks
He's
he's
agreed.
calibrated
They're
it
not-
himself. He's got not one of them that he's bought cheap off the internet. Has he been
Not calibrated.
took to a shop to make sure it's calibrated? It's within calibration. He's not checked one of them.
What about George Netanyahu? Was his name?
He told us they're not
Would he have not
calibrated.
had it calibrated?
May he rest in peace.
Oh, so they're all not so everyone's stuff is not calibrated.
He told
Only
us.
the ones that do the measurements that you like, they're the ones that are calibrated. Cool story, bros.
okay, hey guys, it's coming up to 3 hours now, and
No, let's stay on the Jesse one. Have you emailed him yet?
I'm gonna have to cut this off at the 3 hour
You said
mark.
that. You said that. Don't put that
Yeah, let him end his stream.
Right, for future reference, guys. Okay, this
in the
is.
mouth. You said that.
Listen, just listen up. Okay.
Nobody said that. You said that.
For future reference,
A lot
Elder
of
Bear,
content, eh, Phuket? What a day.
I'm gonna have to mute you again because.
Hey, you must be pleased.
Oh my god! Just
How many
muted
views
you.
did-
Right. Okay,
Just
guys,
mute
I've
the
muted
guy.
Elder Bear. For future reference, guys, the reason I open up the Discord is not to have stupid little arguments and make accusations about this person, that person, all right? I'm more interested in constructive criticism and thought about how we can collectively do things that are beneficial. I am not interested in wasting time arguing the toss about little, things here and there, okay? And I'm interested about creating some clarity, okay? Because yes, I mean that's the one problem that this whole issue has, is because people end up getting very confused by all the different stuff that people have to say, and they get lost in their egos and accusations and things like that. Yeah, I'm interested in progress. Yeah, I've been doing. There's no point in going around in circles talking about arguments that have already either been discussed for 10 years or not, and we got nowhere. Yeah. So you're all welcome to come in, but only if progress is your mission and creating clarity is your mission. Yeah, and otherwise I'm not interested in hosting you on Discord. Yeah, or on YouTube, yeah. And you know, that's what I want to do, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, it's ridiculous. I've got my wife and kids to take care of here, and it's really just it's childish, the stuff that I've had to listen to everyone arguing about, and it's just egos, yeah.
Oh,
Trying to get away
it's
from
crazy,
all that.
absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So
And when it comes to something else, Nick, very shortly I will have this presentation that I have mentioned to you before. I'll have that completely done. I'm going to be chatting with Travis from the Plain Truth very shortly, possibly even on Tuesday,
okay.
and showing him a whole bunch of it and going over it. And it's literally an entire flat Earth model to describe exactly why everything is disappearing in the distance.
That's
And I will show that the horizon is changing height.
okay.
And I'll show you why the horizon changes height and why it would be below the crosshairs and then why it would be above the crosshairs.
Right.
I've got everything there. It's I mean, I could do a friggin' 10-hour presentation on it. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind hosting me once I've done that as well, I'd love to get it out to everyone who's on this channel too.
All right. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. I mean, I'm okay. I'll do what I can in that respect.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine,
I'm not saying you have to. I'm just putting it out there if we can chat about it or something and
Sweet.
try and work out something.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, like I said, if it's progress, if it's educational, that's great. I'd be happy to do that. So yeah, thanks for the heads up there. Yeah, I do have a busy life with 5 kids, and I'm trying to keep my things like visas and all that kind of stuff going. But yeah, I mean, let's touch base on that and see what we can do there. Yeah. So.
Yeah, awesome. We'll chat here on Discord.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have to basically end the stream now, and obviously you guys, if you want to carry on Discord, but if like I said, I'm not going to be hosting long-winded arguments, especially when people want to make it's like you come in someone's house, yeah. It's like you don't start dissing them. And keeping your foot in the door, Elder Bev, I'm talking about.
I'm sorry if you feel like that.
Yeah, because I just want
really
straight
am.
answers, Bev, and it's just like you're all over the place, and
Straight answer from Bev. That doesn't possible, does it?
Yeah.
When you
Might have spotted
when you
the
ask a
problem.
question, this is the second chance you've had, yeah, and you spent hours going round and round in circles. Yeah.
I tried to tell you at the beginning how simple it was.
No, you didn't, because you haven't. It's like, yeah. Anyway, listen, I gotta go, guys. Okay, it's
Take care, bro. Take care.
sorry. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, my mic's up and down here. So all right, guys, I'm gonna end the stream now, and I'll catch up with you all very soon. Okay. All right. So thank you very much, everyone,
Thanks
for coming
for having
in.
me.
All right. We'll speak soon. Yeah.